Welcome back, everyone, to KIRELLIA, a pirate campaign. Session 6. It's been a little while since we've done this, so we're going to be doing a little bit of recap, as well as going into some little bits about what we can expect today. I'll just pull up the recap for us. Okay. So, before I begin, with the ships and everything, since you guys are heading off to a competition, essentially to Archaea, where there's some mining going on for a resource called azumite, which some of you got some weapons made of, so that you can actually have legal weapons in Feybound Port, because they banned iron and steel and all those kind of alloys. It's a mysterious metal, however, no one really knows its exact properties. But nevertheless, you are heading to this island where they mine it, and there's supposedly a source of power there, which is what everyone in the competition, including yourselves, is going to go and get, hopefully. Now, with ships, the way things work, we've got weather, obviously. So one of you, or you can either choose, or we can just do it in like a circle kind of thing, where take it in turns, where you roll for weather. Either every day if it's not like a long stint, or you'll roll, for like once per week kind of thing. And then the different weather will affect different skills on the ship. It might reduce your movement, it might increase your movement, it might have a negative effect on fire attacks, things like that. So just bear that in mind. Aside from that, I'll give you that one. Aside from that, we've got all the different types of weaponry that you can use. So they all have different types of actions. I mean, it's fairly similar for most of them, just some have less than others. So for example, the Scorpios, which I previously mistook for ballista, which are massive bloody things. Scorpio are the handheld kind of crossbows that sit mounted on the deck. Some of them can be moved, but it's a bit heavy, it requires 2 people. Those things are quite precise, quite accurate. They will only require load and fire. So 1 action to load, 1 action to fire. It can be operated by, everything can be operated by 2 or more people. So anything with 2 actions like load and fire, 1 person can load, 1 person can fire, that kind of thing. The larger things such as the ballista or the mangonel or the cannon will have load, aim, fire. So take an entire action to aim where you want it to go.
Do we have both?
Do we have
both on our ship, or just the Scorpio?
No, I think you have 2 Scorpios and 2 cannons right now. But just so you're aware, especially in combat with other ships, just for strategy purposes, because this is stuff you would know, like especially your character, you would know this stuff about the weapons, so you can strategize accordingly. If you saw in the distance, for example, a ship that had a mangonel, you might go, okay, well, I know how long it would take or quickly it would take to fire that kind of thing. I know its range. Do I even want to, which way should we go about this kind of thing?
Can you say the mangonel again?
Yeah, so the mangonel is, let me just get the specifics for you.
Is it the Scorpios? Or
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yep, that is the crossbow-like thing. Mounted crossbow, basically. The mangonel is one of those manual sling type of levers.
Yeah.
That is operable by 1 person, if necessary. It's ideally 2 to get max range.
Okay.
So you probably have less range if it's just 1 of you. Yeah. But yeah, so the mangonel, the cannon, and ballista all have the 3: the load, aim, fire.
Right.
Yeah. The only ones that have less are the Scorpio and side shears, which are essentially, they're more of like a single shear operated by a single person kind of thing that stick out the side of the ship.
Right.
That kind of like almost centipede, like scrape and cut the side of other ships if you're nearby. They only work close range, obviously.
Fun.
You can have a ram upgrade.
We have options.
Yeah.
We don't have those, but we've got options.
Yeah. You guys were offered the last time you were at the shipwright, the ram upgrade as well. But you obviously chose the cannons.
This poor ship.
But, just so that you know, like the ram is obviously at the hull of the bow of the ship, like the very front. So it requires the entire ship to attack with. But essentially, you can do exactly that, ram other ships with it. If you had a
nice figurehead, if you do.
Yes. Well, the ram sits underneath in the water.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The figurehead, you can still have the figurehead. You just have...
It wouldn't, replace the...
I mean, you could probably get, a reinforced figurehead, just so that if...
It doesn't fall off. Yeah.
This ship it probably would. Do we even have
We're getting a new ship this session.
Okay, so...
if we got a ram on the ship, it would probably go into our ship instead of into theirs.
Reverse, yeah.
Just collapse.
When you try and poke something, your finger goes back. Yeah.
So it's 2 Scorpios and 2 cannons.
Correct. You have 20 cannonballs and enough gunpowder for, say, cannonballs.
Those cannons are coming with us wherever we go. We spent a lot of money on that.
You guys did really well to convince and con the guy to get those cannons.
We will compensate him.
You just kind of
I've got
went...
a note that will pay Carter back.
You just kind of... I explained all your options, and every single one of the other weapon options are cheaper than the cannons. But you guys went, no, we want cannons. Which is fair, but it's expensive by at least double, triple a lot of the other things. Anyway, the next point I want to bring up is the different types of ships that you have. I found a resource on the DM's Guild. So shout out to DM's Guild for people who create stuff on there. Really good stuff. But this person has made... let me just find the actual thing here. It's called Ships and Crews.
By whom?
Let me get the... Call from the Deep, Ships and Crews by JVC Parry Presents. Or JVC Parry is his name. And he's given a table for ship statistics. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different types of ships.
Yeah.
But that includes rowboat, that includes a keelboat, and what is called a coracle. I have no idea what a coracle is, but it looks from the statistics smaller than a rowboat.
I'm pretty sure a coracle is what we would think of as maybe like a kayak, but it's much longer and it's made of wood.
Right, so kind of like what the
So it's like if
the Vikings sort of old
not
time.
quite.
No.
It's like if you got just a tree trunk and literally just carved that tree trunk down, so it's a single piece of wood made from one tree.
What's it called?
Coracle.
Oh, here we go.
I'm pretty sure it's something like that, isn't it?
Oh, that's like a leaf.
Oh, it's like a
like a
lily
bowl.
pad.
Yeah, it's just a bowl in a
Person bowl.
Oh, they're Southeast Asian.
Southeast Asian.
Yeah, the one you're thinking of is a carve. That's the Viking
Oh,
one.
okay.
CARV, yeah.
So there's also something called a cog, which it's for a lot of money. It's got much bigger stats, so that must be just another type of ship, just a cog. So, but anyway, point being, all these things have different statistics, each one of them. Some of them are obviously faster, some of them are slower, some of them can carry more rather than have more passengers. So like, for example, a galleon, right?
It's a big boy.
You won't take any passengers. It has no space for passengers because it's mostly for getting places quickly and loading a bit of cargo, but it's also built like a tank, those things. And they have quite a lot of weapons. So that's why, no passengers. Whereas, you've got the... what would be the...
Got 1 or 2 passengers.
The long ship here, right? Obviously, in the name, very long ship. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to maneuver that thing around tight spaces, but it goes fast, carries a lot of people, but it doesn't have as many weapon slots, for example. And HBs and ACs, they're all different as well. So, you guys technically have the... Where did I put it at? Yeah, you guys have the coaster. I believe it was the coaster. So I wrote this up last night. I'm just trying to remember exactly. Yeah, yes, the coaster. And so you go at 2 miles per hour, 20 feet per turn. It's not the fastest ship. It's made for trade. It's technically a trade ship. Any or most trade ships that you'll find out there are either going to be coasters. Yeah, exactly. You can put your drinks on it. It's just a floating drink holder. Any of the trade ship is either going to be a sailing ship, it's going to be a coaster, or it's going to be a caravel, depending on what they're trading, what they're doing, etc. Obviously, warships, galleons, galleys, with your statistics, probably want to think smart about that, especially a warship. Those things are just tanks, like literal naval tanks. So that's that. Which brings me into the last point before we get into the session. I know it's a little bit, but just because we're doing official naval stuff now, we're going to be using the DMG's optional loyalty / reputation option.
Hell yeah.
This will relate to your crew, right? So the higher your reputation / loyalty value, the more likely and more willing your crew will do things for you or be with you or support you. The lower it is, the more chance they will mutiny. If it gets to a certain number, I'm putting that number at -2. If it reaches -2, they will mutiny. Or they'll be highly likely. It will take a lot to convince them not to for a time. Just letting you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to start you at 1.
Okay.
We'll treat it just like another ability score, right? So you can write it on your character sheets.
I've got it here.
Sorry.
How high can it go? Like what?
It's
What's
just
that
like an
range here?
ability score here, so it will
Right.
go up to 5,
Okay.
and it can go to -5.
Right.
If you survive to -5, that would be a miracle. You I don't know what you're doing to convince
Blackmail.
your crew to.
You just got them all locked up.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, a -5 loyalty would likely be more of like an orc warship or an orc just ship in general, because they would have more of like a chaotic sense of organization where it's like there's a new captain every day, everyone's fighting for, control and stuff. So it's less like one captain all the time and you do this, which a lot of traditional ships and crews are like, and more of like I don't even know what the term is, not a diarchy, but like it's just like anarchy everywhere, right? But they'll have some structure where they'll eventually choose one person for that day who has come out the victor, and then they'll begrudgingly functional to make it work, but there's a lot of tension all the time.
Are there any ship stats you want us to keep track of?
Yes, just for your reference, I guess. So yours, as I mentioned, was the coaster. Speed is 2 miles per hour.
20 feet.
Which is 20 feet per turn. Also 16 miles per day, because the average work day will be 8 hours, right? Because crew, believe it or not, do need sleep, even goblins.
No.
Yes.
And the amount of crew that you need to run the ship is 12.
12
Does that
slaves.
include like?
Did you say 16?
16 miles in a day.
12 including us?
12 includes the 12 includes the captain, the quartermaster, any master gunners. It doesn't have to include the navigator. That can kind of be interchanged with gunner. Yeah.
How many goblins do we have?
Well, I'd put you at 15 goblins.
Okay.
I may have mentioned something different before, but New Day Who Dis 15 goblins are on your ship. You have a total passenger crew of about 40.
Like the capacity.
Actually, like a passenger. I'm going to change that actually because you did buy cannons, and you do have 2 Scorpios on your ship. So I'm going to put that at half to 20 passengers.
We can have 20 people on the ship,
20 people,
including
that is
the crew.
not the crew.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So-
35 is capacity.
Yes, 35 is total capacity for everyone on board at this point
So
in
we
time.
need 12 crew, and then we've got
Yes. So
extra space.
yes. So currently 3 goblins take up part of the passengers, part of that passenger allowance. And don't forget, you're not technically all part of the crew. Most of you are just kind of sitting there, which means you're taking, some of you, except for Malnevanox and Briarfell and Grassus, the rest of you would be taking up those passenger slots as well.
And the chefs.
The chefs are technically part of the crew.
Part of the crew. So they're part of the 12.
So they'll be part of the ship. Yeah.
We've got 15 out of 12 crew right now. And what, like
So is it 22?
5 out of 20 passengers?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it down to an exact science right now. Just
Yeah, just
Some people are
thing.
smaller
Only
than
when we
others.
decide to take passengers on.
Only when we're like nearing capacity.
yeah.
and it's
If
like-
you're
they're
ever like,
half-ons,
hey, I want to let's load our ship with, all this. I don't know. Just say you found a dragon's hoard. Let's load our ship with this dragon's hoard. I'll be like, okay, let's sit down and actually crack out a couple of the logistics here. But otherwise, you're going to be like, let's take these 5 people. I'll be like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Your cargo capacity in tons is 100. You currently have 50 tons on board with you for your travels so far. That some of which was already there, some of which you've used or restocked for this journey that you're now doing. I am not, just for everyone at home, I'm not a sailor by any means. I don't know a lot about ships. I'm just going off one of the resources I've given. I'm just going to say that for 2 weeks travel, and you've got, say, 50 tons of cargo, which is mostly like supplies, food, I'll say that you'll go through maybe 25 tons, for which includes everyone on the ship.
I can feed 10 people
For
a
for
day.
how long? For 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
I mean, it might be a lot less, I don't know. I'm just sort of ballparking it here. If you've got a capacity of 100, it's a smaller ship. It feels right to me.
It's like it's stored in boxes and stuff like that.
I guess, but I mean, like our
It's
moving
not
truck
like
was
25
5.
pure
Our
tons
moving
of
truck
straight
was
food.
5 tons. That would feed 20 people for like a week
Tons.
at least.
Yeah, but it's not like we just got a big freight container of fish,
Yeah,
It's like
true.
it's in,
What do you
it's,
mean?
it's stored, it's wrapped, it's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You have an AC of 15. Your HP for your ship is 200.
Oh, I didn't know a ship can have that. Of course it does, though.
Your damage threshold is 15, which means if someone just comes along and punches your ship, unless their punch is more than 15 damage,
it won't do it.
it won't do anything. It'll technically, for flavor, be just kind of like the structural integrity of the ship. Their fist just kind of crumples, or they'll be deflected, or something like that. Same for any shots fired at you guys, or sword slashing. It's just kind of
So
cosmetic.
you can't
Yeah,
flick a ship to death.
No, that would be cool though, but no.
we can try.
I'm gonna try.
I really like that as an intimidation tactic, Lou. Like capturing someone else's ship, not going away with it, just kind of having the whole crew tied up, feeding them for days, just while you slowly flick the ship to death. And be like, are you going to tell us? You're going to tell us?
It's an anime flick though, so when you flick it,
Yes.
it takes a moment and then it just goes right through the ship.
Yeah. It does the like flash, and then there's like the slice in the clouds, and
And then like
the
little
part.
choo.
Yeah.
Technically,
What
my
is that?
flicks are a d4 plus 4, so I'll never get there.
So it's like one of
And-
those delayed effect ones. You flick and then
Yeah. the
Perfect.
bow falls off. Yeah. So technically, your ship should have just one weapon slot, but because of the nature of the captain you got it from previously, he was used to like dangerous areas. There has been an influx in pirating and stuff like that, as he mentioned, and a lot of people have mentioned now. So he obviously got the extra Scorpio. And then you guys just went and got one.
we did have them
Let's
like
go get
specifically like mounted and fastened to our ship. So not ideal, but
But that's why I'm saying
Function.
your passengers is reduced.
Right.
If you had more slots according to this table, then it wouldn't take up any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
heavy,
Okay.
carrying the gunpowder. and
Heavy.
everything,
It takes a
cannonballs.
lot of space.
Yeah.
A cannon. You got to have space to have like 4 people around it. You got to deal with the recoil. It's just
And there's the powder and the cannonballs and
exactly. So that's
It's like
all the intro for ships and stuff that we have. So just try and keep some of that in mind.
Very helpful.
Different things will affect your loyalty with your crew. So, just as an example, if you're, say, at Archaea and you guys decided, oh shit, there's a massive forest fire that's coming our way. If we don't leave now, we're gonna, potentially get really damaged, or we're gonna lose some of our loot. But some of our crew is on the shore. Should we leave or should we stay? If you choose to leave, likely you'll go down a point in loyalty. If you choose to stay, you either stay the same or you go up, depending on the situation. Just for reference.
Cool.
That's how that works.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, and creatures alike, I'm going to do our recap for the previous session.
Huzzah!
Okay. After guiding you through the rest of the streets, Trix, your lovely androgynous elf, took you to the market where you met a rather cheerful Leonin blacksmith by the name of Iara at her smithy called Meltdown. She sold you some wares, some of which was a prototype trap that would explode into a sticky gel type substance, which I think one of you wrote down somewhere, details, and some weaponry, as I mentioned before, that was forged with azurite, the stuff that is allowed in Feybound. A mysterious metal that's mined in Archaea. Continuing on, you found the mansion-like building in the center of a courtyard near the border of what would be the South District of Feybound Port. And for all intents and purposes, it's the officiary... I can't even say a word right now. The Officiary Business District, or the I don't know what's wrong with my mouth today.
Fishes.
Bureaucratic District. Why is that so hard to say?
It's a hard word.
Bureaucratic District. You proceeded to throw some snowballs at the window. After finding the gate magically protected and some guards being around, and following these actions, you were reprimanded and brought before the Five Lords of Feybound Port. Not only the snowball throwing, it was also the assault on the snake.
And the loitering.
Which happened to...
One day.
Yeah, which happened to be, a kind of sub thing where things were interacting, where, Flipper was around the snake, which was also one of the Lords' familiars or pets, saw it, and then, they kind of had a go at each other, and so, you intervened, and that's why you guys were reprimanded as well. You met Hammond Godfrey, a ginger, middle-aged man with a very clean and pointed ginger beard.
He was cool.
Illumia Lumi Fedragil, a happy-go-lucky fey woman with glistening silver hair that drapes gracefully over her fawn-like elven ears and white antler-looking horns. Esther and Asha, of which Asha had pale white skin and a black blindfold across her eyes, a thin golden head circlet that draped around the middle of her face, and light-coloured furs. Meanwhile, Esther had piercing green emerald eyes that was surrounded by black eyeliner and eyeshadow, black floral patterned dress and coat with a revealing chest, a simple silver and black side head circlet that kind of protruded out the sides into a fan-like design, just elegantly, and you noticed a slight black tattoo markings on her hands and or wrists.
She also had a nose ring.
She did also have a nose ring. I forgot that detail. Thank you. I might note that down. Also a nose ring. It was silver, wasn't it?
Here for the important things.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was silver.
Can count on you. You also met the last member, Il Adros Malvoxin, a black dragonborn that has since faded to a grey in his old age, with wispy dangles from his chin, navy blue fur coat with a walking cane in tow, and scaly protruding eyebrows with grey tips. The result of the court session ended in Flipper being prohibited from ever entering the city ever again, and to be accompanied at all times. He is, however, permitted on the dock. You then made your way back to your ship to await midnight. At said time, Malnevonox met a stranger on the dockside near the shipwright, with Anther and Cadme keeping a careful watch out from above.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank
Super
you.
careful.
Thank
you
you.
were,
Definitely.
you were
Got your
actually
back.
very
Situation.
useful.
Got your
Yeah.
back, don't worry. It's my night vision.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just for reference, Sim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got
Went
no
around.
idea what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys got brought before
Oh god.
swords?
Look, this
Wait
one
till you hear
here was like, yes,
nothing.
there's a magical barrier. I'm going to touch it. Didn't go very well. I'm going to try again.
I would
To
just
be
like
fair, it
to
was
say if
very
I
in
was
character.
here, I would have slapped him.
Oh yeah.
I was this
The guards,
close.
the
Feather
guards
side.
let me do it. It was legal. It was
Yeah, you
fine.
did tell
It was
him
funny.
to do it. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
legal. Therefore, it is okay. Well, I'm not going to continue that conversation. Yeah, for your reference, during that whole thing, you were basically flying up above, and you had like a lantern that you would signal, like using basically
Right.
what is it? Is it Morse code?
Yeah,
So you're
like
basically
flashes.
using light, saying "Hey, danger"
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Just like
Right.
light the light if you see some
Light the
danger.
light.
Okay, yeah. If I see danger.
I think it would have been covered, and then you would have taken off the cover so we could see it.
Yeah.
So however you flavored it, you would have been able to do it because you had the
I
like,
have.
cantrip, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah. The figure
was a
turned
good
out
plan.
to be Malvoxin Il Adros, one of the 5 lords of Feybound Port. He explained that he wanted to sate his curiosity with Malnevanox, and a curiosity well placed, since the conversation revealed a mystery that neither party could quite understand. He explained that just to clarify, Malvoxin's father's brother was one fierce captain called Malnevanox, who had seemingly died at sea a couple years or so prior to his father being born.
Roughly 100 years ago.
120.
He's
I'll get
110-ish years
I'll
old.
get to that. Yeah, prior to him being born, and yet Malnevanox now stood in front of him. The question they both posed was it really possible for this to be the same Malnevanox from 120 odd years ago? Since it seems that Malvoxin is 60 years old, and he mentioned that his father passed away at 60 years old. So it's been approximately 110, 120 years. So,
He didn't give me his father's name, did he?
he didn't give you his father's name. No, it's because a sudden noise shifting on one of the dockside piers urged you to depart. And Malnevanox
Danger.
watched Malvoxin turn invisible and scurry down an alleyway, breathing like a before he returned to the ship himself. From there, Grassus started the goblin machine that kept the ship running, and you all departed, setting sail for Archaea to see what power could possibly be held there, and to eventually figure out what the hell you guys are going to do with that power if and when you find it, and the contract in blood that you signed
Cannot
to
tell anybody.
the chick that you've never met in the Sending Stone.
I think I'm fine, guys.
So that is where we left.
Interesting.
Did you tell us about your meeting?
Briefly, yeah.
We would have heard
got
most of it, I think.
You two, you guys, your perception is crazy as well. So you guys heard most of the conversation. You kind of sort of filled in people, but by that point we kind of had to end the session, so you didn't really get to go in detail. You were setting sail, the ship was moving.
Pitch
So
black, pulling out of port.
Can you just spell that
island.
Malvinox?
yeah,
No, no.
Malvoxin.
Malvoxin.
I've got it here.
Malvoxin is MAL
Now too.
VOXEN.
Oh, I thought I got it.
Mouse squared.
Did you get his first name?
Il
Adros.
Il
So it's
Adros.
IL
Yeah.
apostrophe and then capital ADROS.
I got everything except I put a Y instead of an
Oh,
apostrophe.
that's fine.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys are heading off super early in this competition, it seems.
It's like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
about
gonna be so
1
easy.
a.m. ish.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah, we met at midnight, and
Met at
then
midnight.
that didn't take too long.
It would have been about half hour.
12:30, 1 a.m., yeah.
So I would like. I'm assuming you're taking the helm
Yeah.
at the moment. So I would like you to designate someone to roll what the weather would be like for the next couple days.
Is it just like straight roll? There's no bonuses or anything?
It's a straight roll.
Yeah. Academy, because she's the watch. She's the lookout.
Yes. Just let me write this.
Well, it's between you two. You can get up to the crow's nest pretty damn easy. You can fly, and you got allies. So
I'll check the weather
I've got,
underneath the water.
I've got 30 feet climbing.
yeah,
And I think I can just do that with claws.
you just jump straight up to the
I can
crow's
just
nest.
eat up, yeah.
True.
I was up there when you guys were having that meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that was watching for Kyrie to see.
But
A
you didn't
D20.
do
No.
anything. It will be a D100.
Slay.
Yeah. I wouldn't have heard anything, but I would have seen it.
57.
57. I don't know why every time I ask you guys to like roll for these kind of like D100 things, I always just smile.
Yeah,
I don't know
looking at
why.
your face.
Even if it's like, it's fine. I'm just like, it's just like a nervous tick, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
It's like perfect weather.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I became
This
45
time.
years old.
It's true. Yeah, again, for the people who are at home and didn't catch, or I don't even know if it was in the last session. I think it was session 4.
It's the
wasn't
session.
it?
Oh,
Yeah, it was a session before, yeah.
So, yeah.
maybe even before that.
Our wild sorcerer, played by Ian here, Robin, rolled on the wild magic search table. I'm using a custom one that goes up to 300, and I think I asked you to roll, and then I did that smile that I've got, and then you became what was it, 45?
I went from like 18 to 45.
Didn't
Man,
you
I got a
age
short back.
45 and then you became 60?
No,
was it
I aged
45?
up to 45.
That's too old.
You described it as like you got thicker and like you got grey. And
Yeah.
I think we played it up that you were just really old.
Yeah, I got like some grey whiskies. Because like 45, like, I'm an old cat now, fam.
Yeah. And after that, I think the next session, I asked you guys to roll some numbers, to which you were like, "Oh, you can't leave us on that." And I gave you a hint that it related to your age. And I think it was because the wild magic thing that happens sparked me to be like, "Will you actually keep track of your ages and things like that?"
So what do we roll? I'm confused.
No, you don't have to roll anything right now. I'm just saying that's
No,
what
yeah,
you
you
did
already
roll.
did it.
Did we change age?
No, but he's got your ages written down now, so you all have an
I had
official
your
age.
details.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Chance to age.
So, alright, 57 you said. Yes?
Yep.
57. As you're looking out over the horizon, beautiful moonlit sky as it reflects off the glistening surface of the water, lapping gently as it gets a little rougher as you get further and further out to sea. You start to see this fog mist rolling over from the left side, coming in towards your ship. Not in a menacing way, just sort of drifting, carrying with the wind. Kind of look up above on the sky horizon, and from your instincts, you can, especially as an owlin, you can gather that from now for the next 3 days, it's going to be light clouds, slightly cloudy. But of sun, no, it's lightly cloudy. So what that will mean is that there's not going to be any negative effects to your travels yet. Depending on if the weather gets worse or better, we'll see. But yes, it's essentially the same.
Awesome. I relay that. Guys, it's going to be a nice 3 days.
This is your captain speaking. We're going to have light clouds on the weather.
If you look out to your left, you'll see some mist rolling in.
What do you guys want to do until... Well, I mean, I suppose, firstly, because you guys kind of all had a nap, right? Before, because you knew things were going to happen at midnight. Some of you had a nap.
Yeah, we
some
were
of you didn't.
resting for a while.
So you guys will be awake until, I'd say, 6 a.m. probably, unless you want to force yourself to rest. What do you want to do during that time while everything is going, sailing?
I think I'm brewing potions and poisons.
You're doing that? Yep. Because we spoke about this in the car. You
I figured the
three-
poison details exactly. But I had 3 poisons and 3 potions.
Yeah, 3 health potions.
And they're the deadly poisons, to clarify. They're the ones
They're
that
the
if you take
assassin's
it,
blood.
they will kill you. Yeah.
Assassin's
The
blood
murder
or
ones.
snake venom.
And we used the white snake's venom
Yeah, we
in
got
it,
that.
so I don't know if that'll give it any additional qualities, because it's like a weird snake sign.
Oh yes, you did get the snake venom. Yeah, I'll have to pull up those poisons.
I'll make another potion for them.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so you'll start on that.
I give him the venom because I think I had it. So.
Yeah.
I would be with him, just because
Yeah.
curious all alone.
Yeah. Well, that will take... So to make the potion will take constant work for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, I
Which
think
will take
the herb kit was like 8 hours.
So that'll take you straight through to about 8 a.m. So you're doing that and you're learning, you're following on. Cool. You're manning the ship.
Yeah, I'll just be at the helm for a while. Probably make sure Ryefeld's resting, just so like when he's awake, he can come take it off me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is Grassus the other person who's going to use the cannon?
Grassus, likely.
Okay.
It's likely.
I don't know, maybe just run through the mechanics with her if she hasn't previously used one.
Yeah, upon speaking to her, she kind of says, well, I mean, sort of familiar. I'm familiar with a lot of the Scorpios and such, but you may have to give me some pointers. You seem like you know your way around some gunpowder. Yes. Whatever a gun is. Yeah, so you take her through the steps and training a little bit. Are you doing anything, you guys do too?
No, I don't think so. Sleeping.
So, yeah, fair.
I think everybody should probably be in on that a little bit, but
The only reason I'm not sleeping is because cat.
Okay. And what are you doing aside from looking out for the weather?
I was looking out for the weather, but also at some point I'd like to just float on down next to the captain and just be like, so, about that meeting the other night, or last night, a couple hours ago. How are you feeling?
I don't know. We've got a job to do.
Well, everyone wants to talk about it. I'm here for you. And I'll fly back up to the crow's nest.
Bye.
He seemed a bit stoic. Let him ponder on it a bit more.
Yeah, just sit there thinking for a few hours.
Just deal with
What can you
your
do
feelings
with it?
and
Yeah.
Grassus, after some training, so a few hours pass at this stage, and it's approaching 4 a.m.-ish, and they approach you at the helm. It's about the time where Ryefeld's about to come and take over, and before he does, Grassus comes up and says to you, Captain, I want to say thank you first of all, for just keeping the ship running nicely. I know you handed us some extra compensation, should you say. And morale is looking good. Everyone's on board and goblins are happy. It's always a good thing for us. You don't seem too okay yourself, though. Are you? You want to talk about it?
I don't know. You're welcome. Grasses. Like you said, I'm just trying to keep the ship running smoothly.
It can be a challenge sometimes. You take it day by day, usually. But you're doing well. Certainly better than the last one, I'd say. At least
Is that so?
At least from a morale standpoint, yes. He was charming, but charming doesn't always cut it on a ship.
I'm not charming.
No offense, but I know.
Aye.
But you do the job, and you do it well.
I do.
I can see some care, at least, for the ship and the crew in your actions. That speaks volumes. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Grasses. That is quite a thing to hear. And
Now, is there anything that I know I asked this a few hours ago or so, but is there anything that I should be looking out for in this journey here?
I remember those creatures that came for the captain the previous one.
How could I forget those?
Well,
Yes.
those for one.
Anything strange on the waters of this place where we're going?
What was it? Archaea, you said?
Archaea. Supposedly a strange power lives in these shores. Don't really know entirely what to expect, but suppose it has something to do with those creatures.
I see.
And we're not the only ones headed there.
Yeah, is it a competition or something, right?
I've other ships. Could be a battle on our hands, but just keep the lower crew running smoothly. They don't need to worry about fighting.
She looks over the banister down to the main deck. She looks to the cannons. Looks back at you, nods. I think we'll be okay. Hopefully.
Mainly, hopefully, just a deterrent. Those things.
A couple warning shots or something, and I'm sure everyone will be focused on the task at hand. I don't think we should see anymore. And besides, it's not a death race.
We're not looking for a fight.
Well, here's hoping. You got a lucky pendant or anything?
I play with my rings in my hands.
Actually, wasn't expecting that. It's good though. She, out of her sort of rough, leather, what do you call it? Like tattered leather, but in a purposeful way. The vest. She pulls out part of a necklace, and you can see on the end is some sort of canine tooth, jagged canine tooth. This is mine. Got it on a voyage when I was young, when I was still finding my sea legs, and just, circumstances led to some very tough and interesting things, and, well, it just reminds me that there's always better things in the world. No matter what you go through, there's always better times. It's my lucky charm. He tucks it back into her vest.
I think that's enough, Crassus.
Aye, Captain. Well, you headed to the hay?
I'll wait for Brian Fallon. He can have his rest.
I'll go rise him.
Thank you.
She turns away. Not too long after, Briarfell comes up. Captain.
It's all yours, boy.
Aye. Just walks around
Step
and
aside.
takes
Yeah.
the helm.
I thud down the ladder. I'll just like stroll around the top deck for a little while.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, a few hours go past. The sea breeze eventually gets a little bit more intense, a little bit more wet as it picks up with the wind and the choppiness of the rougher seas, at least at this portion. You guys, to get to Archaea from Fairground Port, you essentially are embarking through the Syrian Channel, and you're having to go around, cutting through a bit of Volastellan, which is up to the north, and then going back down around the eastern coast, because, as I mentioned, the Syrian Channel is just like a floodgate, essentially, naturally, where all the water's channeling through, so you can't go back that way. As such, you're, by this point, starting to see at about the 8 a.m. mark, when you finish just about making the potion, the first one, and I'm assuming you're still up, Robin?
Yeah.
Yep. You guys all start seeing the land that is coming up, and the, what do you call it, the, not tributary, that you would be traveling through. It's almost like a channel itself, where it cuts through the land. And, well, actually, I'd like you all to roll perception just to see how many interesting things that you spot on your travels.
That's a lot of dice.
It's a D10.
23, natural 20.
15.
13.
15, 13.
23.
Non-natural.
Wait, what was your total? 20?
23.
20, it took you a natural 20 to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have a look at my map here.
Have you got your spells all good?
Yeah, I saw them.
I think y'all will like the extra spell I added.
Okay. Did you roll?
5.
5. Okay. Very good lookout.
Yeah.
How the tides have turned.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're all passing through this place, and first thing you notice is that this land is quite refreshing in a sense of variety from where you've just been at Terra Ventus, Faydown Port area, where a lot of it was just sheer blues and whites, and not much variation from there, aside from the bush and the trees. This place is a lot more browns and natural orange sands and blacks and greys and just all color variations that remind you of hot weather, hot and desert and just any arid type of feeling. It brings a lot of emotions back for some of you that have maybe traveled at least somewhere around this area, or if not to Volostan in some capacity, where you know that there can be a lot of life, but there can also be a lot of dangers. And it can be both essentially a coin. On the one hand, beautiful. On the other hand, deadly. You start seeing some forms of small life on the river, or I guess it's kind of a river, the channel banks, whatever you want to call it, where what little crag grass is growing that support the banks and the sand that's atop some areas manages to find some wildlife, some deers, some crocodiles that you'll see occasionally. Just natural wildlife as you make your way through, just living their life. And obviously accustomed to seeing things passing through this particular area, they don't give much notice of your ship and your crew. The goblins themselves on the ship are not phased. They're mostly focusing on actually working the ship. And for the most part, it's a nice, peaceful journey. You also note, as you're continuing to go on for a few hours, by which point a lot of the goblin crew is now starting to rest and retire for the evening, well, the day, since they went through the evening. Excuse me. And at this point, because of the current of this particular channel or river, whatever you want to call it, you don't necessarily need all those hands on deck. Some of you will have to be helping out with the rigging and the sails, but for the most part, it's able to be commandeered just slowly but surely down with minimal effort, which means you get a nice time looking at the landscape while you're going through. And you're getting to this point at about midday, we'll say, where it opens up to this large, it's almost like a lagoon on the left-hand side, which you can tell is like to the north, the mainland. Where, the lagoon just opens up and you can see on the shore type of... Is it still a shore in a lagoon? Surely, right?
Bank? No.
Bank, shore. You get the point, though.
Every body of water has to have a shore.
Yeah. There's all this luscious greenery, palm trees and these kind of trees that seem to just have odd sporadic movements in the way they've grown, kind of twisting, knurling, all that kind of stuff, just kind of growing any which way they prefer on that particular day or week. And it's oddly beautiful as it wraps around some things, and fruit seems to be growing from it. You've got the main sort of sandy shrubs that are also growing with their jagged leaf plant leaves. And again, some wildlife that you can see dotting the shoreline, some crabs here and there, some like deer seems to be quite popular. You also note on the far side of the lagoon, maybe another hour or so's journey, on that side where it kind of comes to the close, you can see parts of a shipwreck from obviously a ship that has not paid enough attention or something bad has happened and has just, I mean, you don't see a whole ship, but you see, you know, the bow that has sort of come up onto the shore and just sunk and now is just planted there with its figurehead that's broken off at the top, just sticking out of the water, maybe about 4 meters or so, you know, from the bottom to top. You see, yeah.
Is it possible to make out what the figurehead might have been?
With your natural 20, absolutely. Even though it's sort of facing away from you towards the mainland, you can just tell as you're coming around, so even directing the ship just a little bit curved, you can tell that it seems to be some sort of merfolk. Quite traditional. You could probably gather that this kind of ship was likely to be just an average sailing ship, probably out here either trying to get again around to the east coast for whatever reason, or specifically trying to get into the lagoon and something went wrong. Not sure. But based on the design, again with your knowledge and the natural 20, probably the ship is about maybe 10 years old by this point. You know, you've got a lot of the greening moss and the barnacles and just decay slowly starting to happen, but it's not ancient by any means. And again, no sort of ship crew, obviously, to be in sight. And even more so, no humanoids that you guys can see as you go along this coast. Just mostly wildlife. It's very beautiful. What do you guys want to do going forward for this day? You can either, if you want to dock or anchor in the lagoon, you can for a rest, because it has been just over 8 hours. You guys will take a point of exhaustion if you continue to push yourselves, since the goblin crew is in their rest state. Your ship is also moving obviously slower, so you're at 1 mile per hour because of that as well. So you can push it, and you can make up the rest later, or you can choose to rest. It's up to you guys.
I think this is a good spot to stay a while. We did get an early start.
I agree.
And it's looking to be okay weather for the next few days.
Alright, good sailing weather, but we do need our rest.
Short rest should be good for us.
Yeah, just to reset resync the clocks. Yeah, we'll stay a while. What kind of time of day is it? Like,
it's about midday
okay.
at this point.
How much land does there seem to be up ahead? You know, if we keep going, is it like further than we can see?
Yeah.
Maybe we should keep going while there's still daylight and stop
Rest
later.
at night.
Like, so we're like resting at a normal time.
Yeah.
So you guys can take the point of exhaustion to keep going, and then in the evening,
Have the long rest, get the point of exhaustion off,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, just to maybe like 4 or 5 more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can, if you choose, just saying you have the option. Technically, the ship won't, as I said, function properly like sailing without the goblin crew, or at least enough, like 12,
so they're
12
like full on resting.
like 12 people manning the ship. So what I'm saying is, if you want to, you can have it synced so that you're kind of, you know, you've got 5 extra or 3 extra goblins, right? You and those 3 goblins could have it so that you wake up, do a very slow half-speed shift, go to sleep, the other main crew gets on and sails the rest for 8 hours and it cycles. Or you can just all take your rest, be up at the same time, sailing at the same time.
When you said the ship's 10 years old, did you mean like the shipwreck looks like it's been 10 years sitting there? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
what do you guys want to do? Because if you want to do the desync shifts, then you can do what you want to do and push to the evening. Then the other goblin crew will wake up and do the night shift.
Would there? Sorry, one question. Would there be like a disadvantage for sailing at night rather than during the day?
Only in that if you're trying to look out for things, it's obviously harder in the dark, especially across a body of water.
Yeah.
And light cloud, there's not going to be a lot of light coming through from the moon.
But things would be.
But then
Wouldn't be
people
seeing
won't
us.
be able to see us.
Correct.
So maybe it's probably a better idea if we just rest now.
I think it's good to not be sitting somewhere for 8 hours in one place.
Well,
If
I
there's
was going to
somewhere.
say maybe we could just
Well, we
shrink
could
that
just
down.
stay here for a little bit.
What if we
rest a little bit and then start moving when it
What
gets
if
dark
we
again.
stay for
Since
3
I
hours?
have been resting already,
Yes.
maybe I take watch while people rest.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
The only reason I was letting you guys kind of have the option of like sailing quotation marks the ship when the rest of the crew is not, is because there's just enough of you where I'd say you can just about make sure nothing goes terribly wrong, but you're not like optimizing the sails. You're not checking the rigging all the time and all that kind of stuff
And
that
it's
you
calm
need
on
to
the water,
actually
like-
sail it. You're just kind of like, well, if the wind's in our favor, then that's how fast we're going.
We can
if
kind
it's
of
not,
go in a straight line.
oh well. And if anything goes wrong, you guys are fixing it.
Yeah.
But that's why I say half speed.
Maybe let's stay till like late afternoon. Maybe check the shipwreck out.
So what, like 5, 6?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe more like 3-4 hours.
Well, we do need like a significant rest if we're going to push it the whole night. So
Yeah.
at least
If we-
it might be enough for the. We'll see.
If we're resting here to check out the ship, are we still getting a point of exhaustion because we're awake?
If you're only wanting to rest, say 5 or 6 hours, and then continue, which is technically a short rest because it's not a long rest, I will do like a special kind of exhaustion for you guys where you only have, because the new rules say it's rather than disadvantage and all that jazz, it's just -1 to every skill that you have. I'll do it so that you only have disadvantage. -1 to your wisdom skills, which include perception. All the rest will be okay. Yeah.
We might end up getting a long rest. We'll see. But let's dock like in the lagoon, not like on the beach, but like close enough to row in with a rowboat or something. Would we have like some sort of?
We would have to. We had one before.
Yeah.
We have like a
Yeah, we did when we went to the cave.
Mm.
You have a rowboat.
Yeah, just anchor like in the water.
Okay, so you managed to do that. So first things first, you get Grassus and a few of the goblins up from their rest because anchoring the ship is a big process.
It's a thing. Yeah.
I've personally done it myself with like just a yacht, and it was difficult enough. So yeah, you definitely need to get them up. They're not happy about it, but I think focusing on the fact that they can then rest and not worry about the ship, they're happy for that.
You could do that job.
So you do that within half an hour. You manage to get a nice sort of midpoint in the lagoon, say, that protects you from the southerly winds, which, coming from the south to the north. And you're in a nice peaceful area. The sun would be shining if it weren't for the light clouds. So it's kind of just like an ambient orangish glow now that it's afternoonish time. What is your plan? Are you all going to rest now for a bit?
Are there specific spots on the land where people could be hiding?
I mean, it's now that you're in the lagoons, like proper, you can see that there is all those like black and grey marks that I mentioned before in some of the landscape. You can see as you were going into the lagoon, looking directly north, there's a portion of the shore and the landscape that seem to, you remember the fires in Australia like a couple of years ago, and now everything's sort of regrown, but you can still see like the blackening on some like trunks and stuff like that. It's kind of like that in just like a middle section that spans maybe 100 to 200 meters across in the middle, and then the rest of it's just kind of like natural, like greenery, nothing's wrong kind of thing. It's not that it just looks like that. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, look, everything's just destroyed. It's just that you can tell something's happened there, whether it be fire or whatever. Other than that, like, you can't really see any portions set out where people might be hiding or anything. It's just kind of all a tree line there.
Would I be able to tell, because I got like 23, would I be able to tell if the ship that looks like it's been sitting there is sort of in line with that patch of like scorch mark, as if like if something was to like be thrown, it would be like a straight line between the two?
This is more, I'd say, of an investigation check. So like actually like use your brain to figure it out. So run me investigation. Very good.
Oh, great. Oh.
What's the total?
Where is it?
Intelligence, investigation.
Oh, 3.
So it's 3. Yeah, you have no idea. It just looks like it's a shipwreck.
Cool.
Well, I'd like to feel the land a little bit. If anyone wants to join me.
I'm
You
gonna
said
sleep.
land, right? Okay, good. Land.
I like to feel the land. Look at that light on the shore over there.
You're talking about the figurehead?
Yeah.
Just go to spec settings.
This is an 18 plus.
Excuse me.
Good.
I will join you.
I'll come as well.
Hold your shit.
I'd like to feel around after being in Fair Downport for so long.
Yes, yes. Wasn't the most welcoming place for you, was it?
Not at all. In fact, it was quite hostile.
Like,
I'd wager those scorch marks are dragon fire.
really?
Right. This is not too far north of here. Town is known for housing dragon lairs in their mountain ranges. It's not too far off.
Have you come across a dragon before?
I have
Really?
1 or 2, yes.
If you want, any of those proficient in history can make a history check to see what you know about it.
With your bonuses. Nat 20.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
9.
18.
You'll get natural 20s now. 18, natural 20, 9. Our most intelligent character. 9. What's your total?
It
Is it
was
just
+1.
Oh, yeah, so 21 for total?
Yep.
With a natural 20.
I'll give it.
So yeah, for yourself, I've kind of filled you in a little bit as well with your backstory about Wallerstellan, and having the nature of dragons. And a lot of you know that Wallerstellan is, as I mentioned, an arid desert. It's very like a hostile land in that sense, where the environment itself almost seems to want to kill most things. However, most of you know that to the north, no one really goes up there. There's not really a lot of reports up there. Some of you are aware, particularly yourself, that there's more mountainous ranges up there, where the terrain just gets unbelievably difficult. No one's really seen past those either, those who have gone up there, and if they have, they haven't returned to tell anyone. You have known in your guild that you've been to before, there's been only 2 reports ever of the people that were up there, or around that area at least, that saw these ranges, have reported dragon sightings, multiple dragon sightings up there. They didn't get a good look at the colour. Obviously, if you see that, like even one, you want to get the hell out of there. So that's what you know of that with your natural 20.
Yep.
The rest of you mostly just know it as like a dangerous land. You have no recollection of any like dragons really.
So, we might get lucky.
Hopefully not.
We'll manage, surely. If something happens.
We always do.
It's
Thunderstorm.
Alright.
some ship sounds.
Who's coming?
I could check out that ship.
Hi.
I agree. It piqued my interest a little.
So we all go.
Okay, so you gotta take your rowboat The rowboat. Tails up. So, the rowboat itself can take 4 people in total. 1 person manning it, or 2 if you really want. And
He will swim.
Do we have only one?
Yeah, I just dive off the boat.
You can swim. You can fly.
I can fly.
Well,
works
I'm
out
sleeping.
then.
That's 4 people left, right?
Fly. He can fly.
I'm not coming. I'm asleep. I'm asleep in the boat. So
Oh, you're saying.
yeah, because I haven't slept.
okay, so you're going to stay on the ship and sleep. And are the rest of you gone?
Sound the horn if something happens, if there's a ship approaching or anything like that. Or a dragon.
Aye, Captain.
Robin's old airship.
I'm sleeping, but like I'm in a crow's nest sleeping.
Oh, that's brave. I don't know if I could ever do that.
Yeah.
Those things are high. Like,
I'm sure you
What do you
sleep
mean?
upside
They've
down
got like little
sometimes.
sides, and I'll be like,
She's not afraid of heights.
no.
those things are.
I have like 30
She-
climbing feet. Like I can just yeet.
Still, that's just a mystery.
I can just yeet.
Okay, since it's your last session with us for a
Yeah.
while, can you tell the party here what your actual gender is?
I'm actually a dude. I do not possess boobs. Like, just nobody asks.
Never seen a cat. Never seen a cat. I probably have.
Male cats have nips. Like,
What?
they all cover them. You know, polite.
Mum Never Knocks has a flashback to to the tent that was being pitched on that. Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, you guys get the rowboat. All this takes about half an hour in itself, just to get it unloaded onto the rowboat, and you manage to make your way over.
We can chill on the beach.
Yeah, have a nice little picnic.
Yeah.
It's a nice area. The lagoon isn't like one of those murky, muddy lagoons. It's just kind of like a beach. It's just
Well, that's
technically a
Malibu.
lagoon.
Big lagoon.
Yeah. And you notice, first thing you notice as you're approaching the shore where the shipwreck is, I mean, well, first I'd imagine you're all looking out for like a reef or something, seeing as you're going towards the shipwreck.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't even think
No?
about that.
Okay, roll for
The people who know
Um,
will.
Swimming.
I mean, there are sandbanks occasionally that you will kind of come out of nowhere and you just kind of row around it. It's not too high. You get onto the shore and the first thing you notice is that the sand, you know, you get different sand on different beaches. Some is like coarse and large, others like really fine. This is one of those fine sandy beaches.
Okay.
But something you notice as well, because I'd imagine, was it you I mentioned that you guys learnt about that section, that 200 meter section of this sort of blackened area. Now that you guys are aware of that, and you're like looking at the sand, you're kind of glazing it around at the lagoon. The sand changes towards this 200. So it really seems like something has passed through in some capacity, that just all the way through, right from the water all the way through the landscape.
Can
Whatever
I
it
go
might be.
investigate?
It'll be like an hour walk over,
Oh, Jesus.
but you can. Well, I guess
It's
you're
really far
flying,
away.
so if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
flying, I'd put it a half hour.
Just fly all the way over there. Oh, I thought like we.
Sorry, I maybe wasn't descriptive enough. The lagoon is if you imagine like a semicircle.
Mhm.
You guys were coming up this way from the west.
Yeah.
The lagoon, the 200 meter section is here and here, right there. The shipwreck is like here, on the far side where it's kind of curving back into the channel.
Did we go towards the shipwreck?
Yeah, you
I
guys
just jumped
kind of
off
like
and
here,
beamed
yeah.
over 80 feet per turn to the shipwreck to
Okay.
Yeah.
suss it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you guys just went.
No.
You would have kind of passed around to walk there safely.
Could I fly up to see if there's any sort of symbol or mark scorch?
Just like directly up.
Yeah, like just up
Yeah.
and then look over to where the scorch mark is, like
sure.
how long it is. And...
I'd say make a perception check, and or a survival check.
I could probably guide the rowboat close to the wreck. From the
19.
Okay, and this is specifically for that 200 meter burn sort of section.
Yeah, like I looked up to see like the angle of it.
Yeah. Flying up, and I'd say you'd have to fly. Well, first you're getting up there, maybe 50, 70, 80 feet, which is fairly high, and you start seeing the spread of this blackened. I gotta come up for a better word for it. Like it's a lack phenomenon, let's say,
Oh.
right?
Charred.
Through,
Charred.
yeah. I mean, you can imagine it's charred, like from your perspective on the beach.
Does that
Just
extend all the way
blackened
to the
trees.
water? The blackness?
Well, mostly around the shrubbery. But when I said you can see a different sort of texture in the sand and stuff, it's
where it is.
completely different. The sand, like it's not black. Where the sand is, it's kind of like a. It's a lot more shiny, glistening,
It's been
and like
glassed by dragon breath.
maybe
It's been,
maybe. So yeah, from this high, you can see that this black phenomena stretches as far as you can possibly see. You keep climbing up and up and up until it's like almost uncomfortable for you to breathe in, but also below the cloud because there's still that light cloud layer.
What direction is it? Sorry, is it like?
Just completely north, just a straight line up north.
Would I be able to tell if it's come from, like, if it's pointing towards the shipwreck?
Make a survival. Actually,
might spot her.
You know, because you're so up high and you've got 19 on perception, you notice that the trajectory it seems like it has nothing to do with the shipwreck.
Right, so it's like
kind of
just straight.
line down here, whereas the ship is like over on the right hand side.
And it ends on the bank, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys also, now that you guys are closer to the shipwreck, you don't notice any scorch marks or burn marks or any charcoal, anything like that. So the two correlations probably not related.
Yeah.
So
So
you
it
notice
goes north as far as I can see.
looking from that perspective as well. And with did you roll survival?
I just rolled because my perception and survival are the same.
Okay. Roll me as a separate survival, just because they're like different. They give you different information.
10.
It's the whole like, I can see this much, but what can I make of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 on survival. It definitely looks like scorch marks of some kind, like a burning has gone through there.
Yeah.
It looks like it was a long time ago because the amount of regrowth that has happened, especially nearer towards the water, like the beach, is a lot. However, the further inland it goes, the less growth at all that there is. Like past a certain point, which you could imagine being 2 or 3 kilometers, you don't see any greenery in this section.
Right.
And you swear you can see, it's really hard to, but you could swear by it that there's some sort of like smoldering in the distance. And I'm talking like very far, using your owl eyes.
Oh. So the further it is from the lagoon, the more fresh it looks.
Yeah. But it almost is hard to make sense of for yourself because you're looking way far in the distance and you're like, okay, it's smoldering, it looks like it at least. And if that's the case, it's recent. And then you follow the trajectory and the more towards the beach it gets, it's growth and it's starting to become green. And as if like the trees on the beach look like they've been there for a good 50 years.
Okay.
Weird.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But that's what you get from that. And again, from the 200 meters on the beach, it widens to about. I'll have to double check my notes,
So
but I'm pretty sure
200 meters across and straight up and
it widens to about 500 to a kilometer
craning
wide.
out a bit.
At the beach or when it goes inland?
When it goes inland, it
When it goes
widens.
inland's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Alright, I go down and just
It looks
relay
fresher
this.
inland.
So you come down, relay this. By the point that you've done this, you guys have. I was going to say parked the boat, but it's not the right term. Beached the boat, the rowboat. You've gotten off. You felt the sand. You've noticed more, random debris points of this shipwreck that are just kind of scattered a little bit on the shore where it might have been washed up. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You haven't noticed any oddities in the water, like any reef or anything like that so far. And then Cadme comes down and conveys. Cadme comes down and conveys all this information to you.
That scorch mark thing is really big. Bit strange.
How far up did it go?
Well, I flew up pretty high and I couldn't even see the end of it, and it looks like the further it went away from here, it got wider, and it looked kind of like it was still smouldering.
Is it something we should worry about?
I think so.
I mean,
It's definitely abnormal. So...
If that is dragon fire, that's a large dragon.
I mean, it looked pretty wide from here, like where we first see it along the beach. It's even wider further it goes in.
This isn't Okaya, is it?
No,
No.
just passing Ponestellan.
Well, do we have the map of like the world?
Yes.
Is
Try not to
Boston
look
on
too
there?
closely at the names.
It's on the ship. The maps of the
Yeah.
ship.
So you guys were here, Feybanport.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to go across sort of diagonally to the west through the Surging Channel to get to this little channel here. Then you're at this lagoon here.
Because you can't go out that way.
Yeah,
through
you
the
can't.
channel.
You just cannot.
Yeah.
Short of like some serious propulsion yourselves.
Magic shit.
Yeah, shape. That's going to take a lot of shape water. You're fighting the current of the ocean. The equivalent of going to the shore and being like, fuck you, and kicking the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are in this lagoon here. And then you can see the line goes up.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. What was this little channel called?
This little channel doesn't have a name that you know.
Little
So-
channel.
Feel free to name it if you like.
I feel like, based on the descriptors, though, it can't be that little. If there's
Well,
like a
if it-
shipwreck and like,
If
But
it's a
compared
ship,
to the swinging channel.
yeah,
the Surging Channel.
Surging.
just I don't know, just
I
in
just
my
had
mind,
swung
like,
around here and I was like,
It's
Yeah.
the Surging Channel. Yeah.
As I was swimming up to the ship, did I see what it's actually like?
Right, because you're
beaching
swimming.
cut on?
Yeah. So the water here is currently, because it's so close to the actual channel,
Mhm.
it's always getting like churned up a bit, so it's not that clear. So I'd say roll perception with disadvantage.
You can probably see the.
10.
10. I'd say if you want to roll me an either investigation or survival.
It's 25.
Okay. Alright, so you don't see a lot. So what you do see is a lot of the rest of the ship, though there's not enough here to, if you were to gather all the pieces, rebuild it. You know, a lot of the ship is gone, whether washed away or taken or whatever.
Yeah.
But you see the stern of the ship, and where it's beached, where the bow is beached, what's it called? The keel of the boat, that long beam at the bottom, it's snapped in half, and the whole ship is kind of on its side, which is why this bow is kind of up and out to a diagonal, facing inward. The rest of the ship seems to just drop. Like there's a place where this whole lagoon drops off,
Okay.
like a sheer into the ocean.
Do I get the impression it's crashed on the terrain or some sort of ocean
With
creature?
with a
has-
25, it does not look like it has crashed.
A reef does not snap a keel.
No, especially because the keel is snapped that way,
Yep, okay.
not.
Do I have an idea
Not
of what kind of
upward.
creature?
Well,
be
I'm
able
going
to-
off your survival
Yeah.
here. So first, with the rest of what you're seeing, first of all, as I said, it's a lot of the sand is like you're not used to coming around very sandy water
Yeah.
that's churned up a lot. So the rest of what you see in the stern of the ship, it's almost hanging off, but it's kind of buried now over time. It's kind of been supported, like building a sandcastle almost around something, and you see the port side, which is the left, is just there's a spherical cutout of, you know, like as if something smashed or bit or taken out a chunk of the side of the ship. You see a couple skeletons on the inside. There's one that just, I mean, you don't have to get too caught up on the positions and stuff, but you know, just for flavor, you see one like in the corner of the stern that's like the furthest down, just kind of like in the corner, you know, the skeleton. You see another that's kind of had looks like it had fallen or something slowly over time or whatever, and just resting on like a beam, the beam that supports from the deck to the roof in that particular room, because it's technically where it would be like the captain's quarters. Just kind of the skeleton hanging over with the gravity and everything. Other than that, you don't see a lot else. There's not a lot to see as well. That's just
Very
time.
odd.
Yeah. With the survival check, with all this information, you can surmise that it definitely wasn't a natural occurrence. It was something that probably attacked the ship, left it stranded here, and since then has...
Just a massive hole in the side.
Yeah, this chair is just very wheelie.
Do you want to use this one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so something has attacked the ship, either from the side or somehow snapped it in half in the fight or whatever it was, and has left it.
Yeah.
So, and because of the lack of skeletons that you see on the inside of the ship, because you can imagine, like, if there was a fight in this small area where the channel that's in the lagoon is, there'd be plenty more skeletons around somewhere, but they're not here. There's, I mean, you saw 2. So,
Thanks.
take from that what you will.
Yeah, I'll
We're just sort of like on the beach, sort of like walking towards the...
So you guys are discovering the top while you're kind of going down below.
Okay.
So for those of you who are on the top near the beach, I'd say while you're looking at that, you guys can go ahead and roll your perception and or survival. I will give you the option of investigation if you want to.
16
23.
17.
Okay, so is that perception?
Yeah, perception.
Perception.
17 perception.
17 perception. And yours is
16 survival.
16 survival. Wrong perception though.
9.
9. Okay.
Would I be back down?
Sorry?
Would I be back down?
You'll be back down. So if you want to join in, yeah.
So 7.
16.
16. Okay. Most of you can tell pretty much what you saw coming up to this. The rest of you, the extra details that you get is that, again, without the information of what Anther has brought, you can tell that this ship has been destroyed and is now lent into the beach and has since been covered over by weather and currents, etc. From the bow that's sticking out, there are pieces missing from the ship, and it's not just. I mean, there's a lot of decay just from rot and stuff, but you can see particular points where there are holes, and it's really hard to picture in your mind. You got the best idea with it with your survival check that you just did, and knowing ships as well. But what you can piece together, there's these holes that are like maybe that big around certain parts of the ship, all clumped together, and where they are, the wood is crumpled inwards, on like around it, almost like a bite mark. A bite mark that has not torn it away. It has punctured and let go. That's pretty much all you get from the bow of the ship. There's not a lot here.
If it looks like a bite mark, how big would like the set of jaws be?
About 1 meter across.
God.
Yikes.
Damn.
But for reference, the hole you saw on the stern, maybe about 3. But you didn't see any bite marks or anything. You just saw like the piece of
just the
the ship missing. Yeah.
Well, this ship was attacked. You want to go inside?
I want to see if there's any treasure.
That's what I was thinking too.
There's a chest in there, and if you lockpick it while breathing underwater, you will get 1 lockpick and 2 gold. 2 septims. That's Skyrim mechanics.
Just check out the captain's quarters. Maybe the gun deck. Maybe they might have some extra cannonballs.
True.
Alright, so you guys getting in the water, you just climbing on the bow, what are you doing? By this point, you both would have reconvened. You're kind of like coming up near the middle of the ship, and they're just kind of about to get on. You're like, oh.
I will climb up.
Yeah.
I could dive under.
Easy.
I was thinking just searching maybe like where the cannons might have been, and if there was like any leftover cannonballs, and check out the captain's quarters as well, see if there's anything in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the top of the ship still above the water, but like leaning. It's not. It hasn't like capsized and is.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
With the information, I'm assuming you relay everything you found. With all this information, as a group, you can probably gather that if it was attacked hard enough and snapped in half, what might have happened is it's been completely like destroyed and unsaleable, especially if it's been snapped, the keel. And with the keel and the hull snapped, it would have started to sink. But then with constant battering or anything attacking from the side that you're seeing the bite marks and stuff from, likely to push it up against the shore and then eventually just sink in that form.
Yeah.
Having it then lie there for the rest of its life.
Cool. There's something under our ship, right?
It's like, maybe.
We look back, tentacles.
Just around your ship. Yeah. No. Yeah, so you guys are climbing on top of it. Anyone climbing on top, I would like a athletics or dexterity acrobatics check. It is.
Am I climbing on it? I just want to sort of like
If you want
search
to,
the
you don't
insides.
have to.
You tell us.
I'll dive and start from the
Okay.
sunken.
I was going to go like,
Is
where
that
it
6 or
snapped
is
and
that
just
9?
sort of like, you know.
That's 9.
9.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
the snap
The doc
part
should
is
tell you.
Plus
the snap
Yeah, the
part
line
is
is-
plus
underwater.
3.
Right.
So you'd have to like if you want to go to the snap
12.
part,
Is there like an opening on this side?
Thank you.
on the side. It's I wouldn't call it an opening. Like most of what's like most of the ship part that is missing, where you could like get into, you would have to at least go underwater to some capacity. It's not deep.
I'll go from the top then. I don't want to go with it.
it's
I got a 12 in acrobatics.
12 acrobatics.
21.
Okay.
18
what?
athletics.
So when you say go from the top, do you mean like climb onto the bow and just drill your way down?
No, like I'll try and find like the stairwell into the second deck from the top deck.
Okay.
Because
Isn't this ship like almost vertical in the air though, and the rest of it's just underwater?
Yeah.
I thought it was like on an angle.
Okay.
on
So
Think Titanic.
kind of. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From your perspective, where you're sitting right now, imagine this is the shoreline. This is the stern, the bow of the ship, with the figurehead
Yeah.
It's like that?
It's up, yeah.
on its side,
Yeah.
like that. So it's like you're saying you want to come from the top, but the cutoff part is under the water.
Not from the top, come from the shore side.
Or if you came this way,
Yeah.
you would at least have to step into the water and go under the planks,
That's
into
fine.
the opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At some capacity, you have to step into the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get my feet. I'll do anything. I'm not
The
fussed.
captain, and he won't get into the water.
I'd be very concerned.
My boots.
I just didn't think I had to. I don't care if I have to.
Yeah. Okay.
You're putting on trash the clothes I bought you again.
Oh yeah.
Salty is fine, just if they get torn up and stuff.
Yeah.
Bit of salt and light.
Is
it can
the
be a good
lagoon
look,
saltwater
yeah.
or freshwater?
You give it a taste.
I'm going to ask him.
Wouldn't you be able
Fair.
to smell it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a weird look because we've been sailing in the ocean.
That's valid.
But yeah, there you go.
I won't say
You can
anything.
answer. You can infer that it is salt water.
I thought so.
Heavily salted.
Have you ever been on a ship before?
Not long enough.
Okay. Yes. So it's not a hard DC. You do manage to climb on top and start mulling around as like little kids and stuff do. Oh, I mean, I say little kids. Even I would, if I saw that, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna climb that shit. At like the beach or something. The DC is mostly for not falling through or cutting yourself on rotting planks and barnacles and all that moss, that kind of stuff. So you do manage to succeed. And you go inside from under into...
I'll leave the nice coat on the shore first.
Good idea. And like all of this, is noisy in the sense that like you can hear each other where you guys are, and those who are on top of the bow, by the time you're inside, there are rotted holes in those bite marks you can see through. So it's not like, oh, where did he go? Kind of thing. From the stern, you can see a couple barrels that have been slightly bent inwards, like the wood is split kind of, or some that are just opened with, there's like a corner in the bow, in the stern, I keep saying bow, what is the bow? Where it's just like a pile of, for what you can think of like algae and mold, where you can imagine any sort of food supply has come out and just sat there. Yeah. No escape because there's no current in this part, and just been eaten by local bacteria, fish, that kind of shit. What's your AC?
16.
Okay. You feel something on your leg. Something slimy.
Right.
That just like past your foot and this is as you're stepping out up onto the planks within the bow. And you look back and you see the flick of an eel's tail just making its way out one of the holes into the lagoon.
Did it look just like a regular eel? From
Giant eel.
Make me a nature check,
Razor teeth.
Because what you felt was not just the slime, but you felt like a little tingle.
Ooh, ew, not good.
But it didn't do anything.
Probably like
a spark.
I'm just going to move, and this is going to make a lot of noise, so...
Thank you for the warning.
Yeah.
8.
8?
Yeah.
You don't really have an idea of eels.
It's an eel.
It's an eel. You felt something tingling in your leg as it went past. That's about it.
I wouldn't like necessarily think it's something too dangerous. Like,
I mean, you do, but you're not there, so...
Alright, I'll just keep
actually,
going.
You know what? You are underwater and
I'm in the
with
bottom
them,
of the ship,
so...
underneath it.
I'll say
We're
that...
all going in.
I'll say that as you're underwater, you can... You watch it as it...
Not me here.
No, but from where you are, you kind of... You're hearing all this noise and stuff, and you just kind of happen to look that way, and you see this eel slinking off into the lagoon. You don't get a good look at it. It looks like a black eel with sort of a white trim, but that's it.
Yeah, and I haven't come across any others underneath in the bottom.
Not so far. I've seen a number of crabs in the shore where like the wood is sitting on. As I said, plenty of barnacles and mussels. Apart from that, there's not a lot of other... Oh, there is a skeleton by your side, sort of hanging over one of the barrels. Aside from that,
last bit of food.
Yeah, you can see part of its head is... part of the skull is crashed inwards. And you can tell that the placement of his body, or the skeleton, is where one of the holes is.
Right.
He got
I would just like to point out that I have not gone in. I am like on the deck.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe
we're all
Not
inside.
even touching the ship.
Yeah, maybe if there's anything like any rooms above water level, I'm peeking at.
There are no rooms or anything above water level.
Okay, well I'm just chilling on the deck, having a look around, see
Bit of a
what's
sunbake,
Yeah, that's it.
We're chilling.
I'm keeping an eye out on the ship from a distance.
Just from a
I'll let you
DM's,
guys know.
just from a DM's point of view here, there's not going to be anything else that you can find in the shipwreck.
Oh, okay.
This is all the information that you'll get. It's one of those things.
It's been picked clean.
It has been picked clean. It's mostly like, whatever you want to imagine has taken this ship down. That's the story for it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. It looks like
there's... This thing's been sitting there for a while, and how we're going to find anything to use.
Yes, might be good to get back and rest.
I'm resting right here.
Yeah. Not too strenuous.
Should we head back?
Yes.
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
Let's go.
Captain.
So by this time, about a couple hours have passed, so you're looking at about, around 2-ish, 2 o'clock. You start heading back, maybe get back by 2:30. You're climbing up the ladders on the side of your ship, and, excuse me, you get back on top of the deck, and everyone else, it's pretty quiet, everyone's resting, there's no one really up and about at this stage. And you start to hear some noise from the distance coming from the channel. And you turn and look that way, and you have to strain your eyes, especially with the glare coming from the light cloud cover. But you can see a ship heading down the channel.
Ooh.
like the way you guys have been coming.
Okay.
Can you get any kind of indication of what kind of ship it is?
It is way too far. You can hear what they're obviously very loud. They don't care about being stealthy. It seems like you can just hear raucous, like how do I explain it? Not joyous, but carefree, I suppose. Sailors. Again, you can't tell what ship, any flags, or anything. I believe one of you has a spyglass, but from this distance, you.
How
You're asleep.
does it
I'm
seem
asleep.
like if we were to disanchor and will we have time to disanchor and head out of the lagoon before they reach the opening to the lagoon?
If they have a similar speed to your ship, you would have enough time just to get the head start and maintain a couple kilometers distance, a few kilometers distance. If they're faster, then they'll catch up pretty quick, regardless. But that also means if they are part of the competition and they are faster, they'll catch up and be ahead of you no matter what. So
But also we're under capacity for people navigating and controlling the ship.
unless you want to, this is probably one of those choices for loyalty and stuff. You either pull anchor, set sail, force the goblins to work, and risk reducing your loyalty point, or something else.
Just ready the cannons. No,
That's actually
There's
I
a fisherman going there.
So I thought it was Grassus and us who, since 1 a.m., let's say, were we the ones manning the ship, or was it the goblins
maybe we should.
from 1 a.m. until we docked here? Were they the ones working?
Correct. It's the goblins and grasses
Right,
and
okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to do?
I will. Are we the only ones who know this far?
So far, I mean, everyone else is asleep pretty much.
I'll quickly approach Grasses if she's around.
She's asleep downstairs.
We're all asleep.
All right. Okay.
Wait, who's asleep?
All right.
Grasses.
I'll
And the
find.
goblins.
Who would be the one normally to It's Grasses who's gonna give orders to the goblins.
Firefall's
Yes.
the first mate though.
Yeah.
Raphael is probably about awake. He's probably chilling at this point because he.
I'm just gonna say to Grassus, Grassus.
We've got a ship potentially approaching on the horizon. We just need a few irons on deck.
Hostile.
Potentially get the cannons broadside in case they approach.
Okay.
Wake everyone, just a few of them, and we'll keep an eye on them.
Alright. Alright. Hands up. Tired. Sorry.
Maybe 3 or 4 of the crew. And then the rest of us are going to have to raise anchor, turn the ship ready to broadside, and I need you in the crow's nest to keep an eye on them.
You'll have to wake me up for that.
Are you asleep as well?
I'm still asleep, yeah.
Are you in the crow's nest?
Yeah.
I've got it, don't worry. I fly up. The crew nest. Oh good, you're awake. There's a ship coming.
How long have you rested for? How long have you rested for?
2.5 hours?
We
Well-
were resting as you.
You would have been. You would have been rested before you got to the lagoon, right?
No.
Okay, so yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Not even really a short rest.
Okay.
No, specifically.
Was your ship coming from Fairburn Port?
Potentially. Maybe no need for concern, but we need to keep an eye on them. We need to be ready. So we turn the ship.
Are we trying to leave this place, or are we just getting ready to leave?
No, we just need to get ready in case they approach, and we have our cannons pointed at them.
Right. Are we going to raise anchor still?
I jump down from the crow's nest and I start doing whatever needs to
We
do.
can start.
Could I direct them, with just the few of us, to raise the anchor?
To raise anchor, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people do you have together?
Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
Got Grasses too.
And grasses and a few goblins.
Yeah.
Brifel was
And
awake, right?
Bravo.
It'll take some time. Likely, you'll only just be able to get to your broadside position by the time the ship passes.
Okay. It's just in case they turn in and come towards us.
How fast can you fly?
30 feet.
Okay, because I can swim faster than you can fly.
That's great.
And basically, I don't want to drop sail or anything. There's no need for any rigging. It's just let the water drift us around, and I'll just keep the ship broadside on the other ship.
I could dive out and see what I can find. About
Not a bad idea.
If you want, it might be no need, but it's a
I-
long way.
Some reconnaissance.
I'm gonna pull out my spyglass and see if I can see them.
Aye.
Okay, you pull out your spyglass.
I do.
Okay.
Are they flying any colours?
All right. So, roll me perception.
You're on board. Oops.
Wisdom.
12.
12. Okay. So, first of all, you see that the type of ship it is very similar to yours. It is a coaster, and you see that it is run by what you assume to be the captain is a snow elf.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just sort of see the bluish tint of the flesh that you can see coming through the armor and the captain's tricorn hat. You can see that a lot of them are humans, as well as you can see in the crow's nest a owlin as well, so like a brown feathered owlin. You see that the flag that they have raised is a silver compass with just like a normal compass, where it has like the pointer, and one side is red and one side is white.
In like, I don't know if I would know this though. In like this continent, do certain flags have like certain meanings? Like, for example, like we presume like if someone has a skull, that means they're a pirate. But like if say they have the Union Jack, they're part of the Navy.
Not that you know of.
Yeah. Okay.
But the only universal flag that there is the white flag, which means surrender or peace. Truce. Yeah.
Isn't there a red one that does something?
Don't know. Speaking of, next to the
What was it?
Compass. It's a silver compass.
it's a silver compass. Yeah. Speaking of, next to that flag, they've they'd be busy withdrawing that. They'd be putting up the white flag.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Is got a white flag on the crow's nest at the moment?
We've probably had that up the whole time.
I'll say sure.
I would just, without getting down, I'd sort of yell down to everyone, and I'd probably be looking at you. I can see they've got the white flag up, Captain.
Aye, okay. Just keep an eye on them. Perhaps they're looking for no trouble, but you never know.
They could be lying.
They could be.
I'd stay up here with my spyglass.
No.
Because we've already like got the boat ready now, haven't we? Yeah.
Are you continuing to look through the spyglass?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys are just waiting it out, then you'll see. By the way, this reminds me. You guys don't have a flag, except for a white flag.
Yeah.
The previous flag was destroyed in the attack. So you guys, aside from a white flag, you have no flag.
Just like a tartan or something.
Yeah,
A piece of
we've
cloth.
got some
Someone's
cloth that we
shirt.
just hang up
Just like that.
crow's
Just,
nest. Yep.
So you guys wait and you watch this ship come past. You notice from this distance would be, 200, 300 meters or so, roughly, between your ships from the channel to where you're anchored. That you can see they have up front on the port side and in the bow, they have a mangonel. And you can see a lot of these, again, now you guys see that a lot of them are human. They're running around the deck. They seem very nonchalant, like they're having a good time. They seem pumped. They're making a lot of noise, just chatter between themselves. You see the captain. It's at quite a distance, but you can see where the captain is. And as they go past, you can see this, what I presume you communicated was a snow elf. You see them turn your guys' way and take the hat and just give you a gesture. They take it off and signal.
As they're passing, I'm going to assert dominance. Because we're going to win this competition. I'm going to climb to the bowsprit, climb maybe like 4 or 5 feet along, and just hold some of the ring and just stand there as they're passing.
Cool.
Should I swim out and maybe See what damage I can do to that ship.
God.
Y'all savages.
Stop flicking it.
We did sign a contract in blood.
How's that arm of yours going, by the way? Both of them, I should ask.
But do we know?
That is true. We don't really want competition, but the competition is there. We
Does
might
it
want to-
have to be there?
I can be back in an
That's-
hour.
Are you suggesting that we kill them all? God.
Just let them go past. We can
just-
deal with them later.
You could light it
Put a
on
hole
fire.
on the ship at the bottom or something.
How far away
They
from us
might
are
hear
they?
you.
Roughly?
I mean,
They're going to know it's us.
You just bring
Like,
a
if they
hammer.
were to
What do
come
you
and
do?
if I was to wait till
Bring a
they're
claw
right,
hammer
like,
and just take one of the
parallel
flanks
to our
off the
ship, how
bottom.
far would it
They
be?
are
So just slowly
Yes.
go.
Okay.
Which is like
That's exactly. I'm thinking.
Oh,
What
okay.
if we need allies at some point?
But we can't tell them what we're doing anyway, because otherwise we'll
What if they're not
instantly
doing
die or
that?
something.
Do we just not attack these people?
I feel like I feel like we're metagaming and we should be doing this in character.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
this kind of is in character, isn't it?
Yes.
This is before they get.
So anyone.
Well,
There's some of those they know how to swim, right?
Look, you
What-
got us in
what's
trouble throwing snowballs
That wasn't.
at a house.
okay, what if...
He did.
True.
Pointing fingers.
No.
I asked him to.
Look at he did it.
Where's Flipper?
Good question.
He was probably napping with me.
Well, probably not in the state on the ship. He would have been
Oh,
down
right,
below.
yeah.
Just sleeping in your bed.
we don't know his bed. He's gonna be in when we.
Put him back in the crate.
Just every day is in somebody else's bed.
So cute.
What a hoe.
It's a
Does
pass the dragon.
Maybe if somebody has a spell that could spook them, drive them back to...
Well, they're
Haven.
too far away for anything I have to really reach them.
Aggressive.
No. They've got the white flag up.
That's
The captain doesn't seem aggressive. I can just see him standing there. He's still just standing at like the helm, right? Like just.
It's a she. Yes.
Anyway, yeah,
To be a cat.
yeah, Captainess.
The less competition, the better for us.
That's true.
But we don't know if they're in competition.
There's snow
They're
out, so...
probably in competition. They come from very long port. I
Yeah.
don't know why anyone else would be coming this direction.
They're waving a white flag though. Should we not honour that?
Yes.
What does that mean?
We're not attacking them.
It means they're peaceful.
What
The
if they
white
put-
flag
We're
is
no
what
better
you.
than ordinary pirates if we attack someone with white
Except
flags.
our lives are on the line here.
Look, we've got our flag up.
I think
We don't have to honour anybody else's flag, but we should honour ours.
And I think the less battles we have getting in there, the better. We don't know who else we might come across going the other way.
We could always pick up some speed by following their trail.
Speaking of, at the speed that they're going through this channel, based on your guys' experience now with this ship, despite their ship being mostly the same, you can tell that they've had some upgrades. First of all, that mangonel, right? It's an upgrade for weaponry. You don't see any other weapons necessarily on the ship. However, you can see on the what is it called? I really got to look up my ship terms. It's basically the sides of the boat.
It's the hull.
Essentially, it's had some work done to be more streamlined.
Yeah.
Essentially, it looks more varnished, more lacquered. Got some, cork and bitumen going on in there, which means it's going faster than yours would be.
Yeah, they would have had to be if they caught up to us. Yeah, unless they also left just like a couple hours after us, which is maybe. But
Assuming they came from Baker Port.
Well, I mean, I presume, of course, you being the captain would know this, but if you get behind another boat into like their slipstream, as you will,
it's easier.
yeah, you'll be able to pick up speed faster. So I mean, if we both got white flags,
We need to rest. They'll have to stop eventually. We might pass them. We didn't get in the fight. That's good. For now.
If they had left at the same time as us, they would be needing a break as well.
Aye. Don't worry, we'll be there as soon as we need to be. Surely. It's probably a big island. Nobody's going to find it immediately. We don't need to be the first ones to lay our hands on the artifacts. just the only ones out with them.
Point.
Alright.
Good point.
Well, just think that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back up to the crow's nest to have a little nappy now.
Yeah. I'll delay my rest until it's like a somewhat reasonable hour to go to sleep.
I go to sleep right away.
So by this point, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd say, right?
Around there.
Okay, cool.
So you're all resting?
Yeah.
Okay. You all watch as the ship, which you can, the Silver Compass flag ship, pass off without any issues into the distance eventually, as you all retire for your rest. So how long are you resting for?
Until before daylight. Yeah, we'll do the whole night.
The whole night?
Unless we want to be sailing in the evening.
The crew needs a rest or they're going to hate us.
Yeah. Maybe until just a few hours after midnight. Just a good 8 hours from now. Maybe 10 hours.
Okay, so...
We'll go for 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so you do so. Bless you.
Thank you.
Let me just think about something for a second.
I wanted to ask, are any of you perhaps versed in magic literature?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, me neither. You see, I found this book.
I've been studying. I have read some magical books. I might know something about it, depending what it is.
Well, this was in the captain's quarters when we first took over the captaincy. It's a book, but it's got something to it that I just don't quite understand. Something that's not written on the pages. Mm-hmm. Do you want to have a look at it?
Yeah, I can take the book and I can go through it and I guess read it, or if I can read whatever language it is.
It's in common, I think.
Okay.
Let's see what I wrote.
What kind of ship was the
It's a magic book guide to better sailing.
coaster?
Guidebook to better sailing.
I don't have to read through the book itself, but there's something else going on that I need to understand.
I'll flip through the pages, see if I can notice any marks or symbols or magic auras emanating of it.
I'll be with you because I'm curious.
Okay, so...
I gave her the book to look at. It's called The Guide to Better Sailing. A blue book.
And what are you doing?
I'm just flipping through the pages, trying to see if anything happens. I'm just gonna look through all the pages. How big is this book? Is it a?
It's like this.
It's a book.
Oh, okay. I'll be
I've
doing
said it's got some
400
magical,
pages, yeah.
some magical essence, and
Okay.
I'm just not quite sure what it means.
I don't really have any spell detecting. Can I can I try and use Arcana roll on it or something? No. Sense magic.
You'd have to flip through the book to see if there's any
Well, that's what I've been
magical.
doing, yeah.
So you're just gonna have to spend time with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give it a quick look over, it looks like just that, a book to better sailing.
Okay.
With information in it.
Mm.
But if you want to spend longer with it, you can.
Yeah, I can try and go through it. How long would it take? I mean, I would give myself half an hour if I was just quickly looking at each page sort of thing.
You'll have to just spend half an hour and see what happens.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So, it gets to about 2 a.m. before you guys are roused from your sleep. At this point, the entire crew, essentially, has been resting. So you've had a very still rest. The lagoon is nice and quiet. There's no disturbances that you know of or that came to your attention. As you're roused and the crew is roused, you all start getting back into positions. The crew starts bustling and going around, filling their positions, and you see, once you get to the main deck, as you come up, there is another ship parallel to you guys.
Oh.
What is their flag?
They were quiet.
Is there a flag?
Yes.
There is a flag. It is not a white flag. It is their. It's the no. It's their. What do you call it? Like insignia, I suppose. And it is. It's essentially. It is a pig that is covered in gold.
Our cannons are still facing that way, right?
Your cannons are not facing that way. Your cannon. When I say parallel, I meant. Well, I guess I forgot you went broadside, so it would be adjacent now.
Okay.
So if you guys are doing that, they're doing that.
Yeah, we were facing the right, so they're specifically avoiding our cannons.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys, that was the original way you guys were facing. You guys just turned because you wanted to maybe wreck some people. And they're anchored now, and you don't see anyone.
They're anchored.
Right, as
they're
we
anchored
rise
in
up
the lagoon.
from the mid deck, we'll just halt everyone.
Quiet.
Point over there.
Do we have any lights or anything
They
on the
live.
deck?
They must have tried really hard to come up next to us quietly, like that.
How close are
Because you guys were more or less in the middle, they're probably about 150 meters off.
Okay.
They're pretty close.
Do we have any lights or lanterns on our top deck?
If you, what's your standard?
So
Well, I
ship.
mean,
Like 5
If we were sleeping,
if we were all asleep, we
nothing
wouldn't have
on.
turned anything on. I
I want to
wouldn't.
draw no
Because you guys didn't leave any guards or any like watch people. You just kind of all went to sleep. So yeah, you wouldn't have any lights on. Which maybe in this case would work to your advantage.
It was cloudy, so there wouldn't be any moonlight.
Correct.
No.
There's no
Highlight
moonlight on this
us.
night. It's very, very dark.
Oh, it's like 2 a.m. at the moment.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It is very, very dark.
I would be keeping down, like, try and keep my head below the boards. Like, I'll be on top deck, but I'd try and be keeping low so nobody can see me. And I'd be trying to gesture for everyone else to do the same thing.
Who's got the highest perception? Sorry.
Oh,
Passive, yeah.
we're tied for
Possible.
16.
Okay, easy. Yeah, so anyone over 12, basically,
Okay.
you'll notice as you're looking over to their ship, you guys don't have any lights, which means the only light right now is coming from any, external sources. No moonlight, nothing. You look over to their ship, there is one light on the main deck. That's kind of, no, it would be the upper deck, sorry. Like above the captain's quarters where the helm is. You can gather it's likely to be a lookout of some kind. Currently, the light is just not an ambient light, but more of not a directed lantern, like a beam. It's more of one of those just putting out as much light as possible so that you can see as far as possible any which way.
Yeah.
So whether they're looking directly at you right now, you don't know. Okay.
Anther, I need you to stay low. Sneak off the back of the ship. See if anyone's in the water beneath us.
Waiting.
Right.
Alright.
We'll have to. They wouldn't be able to hear a splash. Like they're like 150 meters away, right?
I mean,
Oh, but I guess it's 2 a.m.
I've been in a bay before where it's just still water.
Yeah.
You can hear a penny drop.
Oh yeah.
I'll climb down the side and just slink into the water.
It'll take some effort. I'd say because you're a finny boy, give me an athletics or acrobatics check, depending on how you're getting down. Okay, that's a good roll.
25.
Yeah, you're fine. You managed to easily slink into the water. I will say, do you have dark vision?
Yep.
Okay. I won't make you roll perception because I'm assuming you're just going around the ship and checking for.
I'll do it once over underneath
for
the
board.
ship, and then I'll sort of head out towards the other ship.
They're 100 meters away.
150. Yeah.
So
150
like 500 feet away.
Is that what it works out to?
450. It's like
I guess
times
so, yeah.
3.
Yeah, I guess so.
150.
Yeah, because 1.5 meters is 5 feet. So yeah, it works out exactly.
We're just sort of on around that stairwell, not on the top deck. Just with no summons, slide back down.
I'm going to do something funny. You continue whatever you were doing. That's it.
I'm on the top deck, but I've been keeping really low so they can't see me above the side of the rail, and I'm gonna just get out my spyglass and
See if they have.
just
They have their guns pointed at us. Are they facing up?
Oh,
Okay. So roll perception with it would be an advantage, but because it's dark, it's just
I've
straight
got
roll.
dark vision though.
No.
Oh, but yeah, okay.
I mean, dark vision doesn't extend to unlimited. There's still a point at which you can't see. And if you're trying to make out details, so just straight roll.
I want you to check if the silhouette of the cannons, if they're pointed upwards or they're pointed towards us.
Right, okay. Well, I got 14.
Total. With perception.
18.
Okay. Sim, were you going to ask something?
Oh, no, I thought it was 100 feet, not meters.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was doing before was just for y'all Americans up back home. That's probably offensive, sorry. No, we use meters in the metric, so it's 167 yards away, just for reference.
We use the mother system.
Wait, what did you say?
We use the mother system.
I thought you said that.
We use mother system.
The mother system.
That's what I said.
Okay. Yeah, so... Excuse me. Yes, perception. So, you notice, looking through, the cannons are facing directly upwards.
Okay.
In outer views.
Can I see, like, where the light is? Can I see if there's a person in the, like, crow's nest or someone trying to, like, look out?
Hang on, I only said cannons because you said cannons, but actually what they have on their deck
Yeah.
is...
Yeah, because I just wanted to look at the entire deck.
There is one cannon that you see currently facing straight upwards that is in the centre of the port side. On
So the opposite side?
Port side, so it's facing you guys.
Are we on their right or left side?
You're on their left side. which
We're
is
on their
dark.
port side.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's one cannon currently facing upwards, so it's not being aimed, at you. There is what looks to be a Scorpio mounted at the bow, right in the center of the bow, that has, from what you can tell, a claw-looking thing on the end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then there is, on the rear side, near, like at the very rear of the helm, like the stern, there is a ballista.
A ballista?
A ballista.
Okay, but do I see any people
There is one person on the stern. They have a huge ship. This is a big one. This would be technically a sailing ship. For reference, sailing ship can carry 20 passengers, needs 20 crew, and can carry 100 tons. So it's a pretty big ship. However, unless there's some speed upgrades that you can't see, they go the same speed as you. And so with this ship, the stern is larger than most ships, at least in this case. So they have space for the ballista, then they have a bunch of space for where this person is currently sitting on a chair, looking out. They don't currently be seeming to look at your way. They're just kind of...
They're not, like, directly, like, facing our ship or anything. Like, their chair isn't pointed.
No,
like,
it's just kind of pointed at the wheel, and it looks like they've been there a while, so they're just kind of like...
Yeah. Cool.
Just doing their job,
We
need to wait for others to come back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I presume you guys are still, like, not on the top deck, but sort of, like, waiting.
Yeah.
So I'll sort of, and I'll come back and I'll crawl back over towards you guys and sort of come back down the stairs because I don't want to speak when I'm, like, out on the top deck. And I'll relay that information, and be very specific about the fact that I saw a very large item that can attack other people, the ballista. But that the person looks like they're just chilling. He's not pointing this way. Nothing suspicious. They look very quiet, but I think if we tried to slink away, we'd have to be very, very quiet.
It's just very strange that they'd come up to us silently like that.
Maybe they thought the same thing that we were here, but they needed to rest.
They're trying not to wake us. It's a nice sentiment.
Maybe they didn't want us to attack them. They would have seen our cannons. We have two, they only have one.
Did they actually see us?
No, they haven't seen.
But I mean, if they pulled up here, is there a chance that they did because we were here, or do you think that
they can't
don't
not
know
see
that
They can't not see us.
They're not here.
You'd have to be pretty blind to not see the boat.
It's just strange. If they didn't see us, why would they have come silently?
I think we should try and leave silently.
It's quite impossible.
They did it.
But we were also all asleep. There's a chance that we just...
Has anyone seen this golden pig before?
Oh. Can I knowledge something?
You guys can all roll me a history check.
17.
So close.
17.
5.
10.
My history is rubbish.
Do it anyway.
Natural
You
20.
specifically.
2.
20? Yes. Great.
History +1.
3.
What? Sorry.
Alright. Did you roll?
8.
8. That was a shitty roll for you guys. You recognize it very well. Wait, who got above?
17.
Who got 12 and above? Just you. Okay. Only you remember this. And I say remember because, first of all, you're really into ships as the captain. And also, you always remember a threat. And you're thinking to yourself, the Golden Peak, what the hell? And you think back to the last maybe few months, did I make any enemies? That you can remember. You're thinking, you're going through them, and you're like, I don't remember, I remember like a black sort of pork rib sort of thing, but that wasn't nearly the same.
No, that was my dinner, that one.
No, it's an actual ship. And
And
then you go more recent and you think, oh no, we've just been to a dock up in the port. There was, that's right, where you picked up Zero. These guys that were roughing Zero up pointed back to their much better ship than yours.
Oh, no.
You even thought it was impressive. And you see the same ship there in front of you.
Oh, we're not friends with you right now, pal.
Hide Zero.
Just gets too pale.
Yeah, no, you would if they've got a lantern there, even though we're this far away, guaranteed you'll just be like, pew!
I'm like a reflective street sign.
Oh, jeez.
0 kilometers an hour.
Stay below deck, please.
Do I spot anything
It's
under our ship?
those lion folk.
Oh yeah, I forgot
And then
about that.
under their ship as well?
You're going to go over to this as well?
Yeah, I'll do around ours,
Yeah.
under theirs, and then if
Oh
I don't
god,
see anything.
they've come for you. I'm afraid we're going to have to throw you over.
Oh, it was
Stand up the
fun.
road for you.
Anther, drown him.
Anther, you being under the water
Mhm.
and doing once over your ship, no sign. You're traveling over to their ship and you see a shape moving towards the channel, and it turns out to be a piece of algae with the slight tide that is now at this sort of time going out.
Mhm.
You continue slowly but surely with what little vision you have at the dead of night. You're in the dark vision with these sort of murkyish waters. You eventually almost hit your head on the keel of their boat, but you find it.
Okay. That's good.
You do a once over, and you can tell from what you see. First of all, there's nothing around.
Mhm.
A couple fish that just acknowledge you as they're doing their thing, like little schools that come out at night that feed on the little bugs that rest on the surface. Aside from that, you can tell that there are no speed upgrades if you were paying attention to their hull that you would have seen on the other side, on the other boat. Other than that, pretty quiet, peaceful.
Okay. I
Nothing
put my
like-
ear to the ship, and do I hear any, weird noises? Yeah, just normal.
Normal ship noises. Little splashing, lapping of water across the hull.
Kind of just zigzag back to the ship and then up the other end and come back.
Okay, you do so.
Captain, I think we should see if we can try and leave. Quiet.
Maybe
And we had our full rest.
Just so that the microphone can pick you up.
I said I think we should try and leave really quietly.
We said they have a lookout. They're going to know we're leaving either way.
I think it's important either way, though. If they come for us, we're in
There's
trouble.
only one of them that's awake, though. It'll take him time to rouse the others, even if we're only halfway through getting ready to leave.
Oh, I definitely think we should move. It doesn't seem like they're coming for us.
I mean, they had plenty of opportunity by now if they were.
If we can wake up the goblins, they won't be seen as long as they're quiet.
They don't need to be unseen. If we move, they're going to see us moving.
But we can try and do it silently at first.
Raising an anchor is so
We
loud.
need to speak a bit louder.
Okay.
Should we try and do something to their ship?
No,
It's too far away.
I'd love to, but I'll be honest, I don't think this is a fight we can win.
I mean,
Not outright fight.
look, they could have attacked us at any opportunity. If we just go.
We can just go.
Mm.
Look, it's scheduled. It's time to rouse the crew. We get moving. We've rested. Let's move.
So you begin to rouse the crew.
Aye.
Grassus and the rest of the goblins. Well, I mean, they are roused, but now you begin to put them into action. And quietly, as much as they can at least, start moving things. Getting the sails ready. Getting everything that they can just before raising anchor. Is there anything you wish to do before raising anchor? Because this is going to be the loudest part. Everything else so far has been relatively quiet so far.
Should I be in the water?
Can I throw a snowball at them?
Oh my god. Not this shit again.
Well, they are your old friends.
I'm specifically keeping him below deck.
Valid.
Yeah, like I've got my staff in front of me and I'm just like, no.
Look, they could be here to intimidate us. It's a bit strange that we'd wake up just right next to them like that.
Maybe they didn't expect us to wake up till him.
And I don't think they like us.
Wouldn't they have just shot us in the spot?
Did they know our
They would have
ship?
shot you on
They
the
know our
spot.
ship. And it could just be because we made somewhat of a show of them when we got to board. But it could be because of something you're not telling us, Zero.
I don't know who they are.
You don't know.
Not at all.
Does he seem truthful?
Inside.
You can roll insight. You can roll persuasion or deception, your choice.
Ooh.
10.
21.
I don't think I need to roll. Just gonna stick with it.
16.
You seem like they're telling the truth.
I believe you.
Thank you.
I think they're talking shit, but you know.
Did you take something from them? Did you do something to them? I know we did. But did you?
No, not that I know of, no.
Why?
Did you win a gambling game against them maybe and they've taken the lost sour?
Well, I win against a lot of people. I don't particularly remember every win because there's just too many, you know.
Mm-hmm. Shame you're not rolling the money because of it then.
Ouch. That's a fair point. What have I been doing this whole time? Well, I did make like 100 gold last time, so.
Okay.
Well, all I know is you said those fellas were on you because they didn't like your kind.
Yes.
We saw none of that when we were walking with you to the city, and I thought that was quite odd. They didn't say nothing till now.
Well.
To be fair, you guys were taken with tricks.
And she did mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of it.
And the rest of the time we were kind of hiding from the general populace because we were being sneaky.
And you were being shown the dodgier parts of the town and how to avoid it specifically.
Look, we could leave, but this is an opportunity. They've got a bigger ship. That's not what I'm getting at.
Grass is like,
They've got a bigger ship, more firepower, more crew. If we were up against them in a competition, we could lose. And we don't want that to happen. Maybe it's a good time for you to apologize.
Apologize.
For nothing. Make them like you. Make them not want to hunt us down.
I have an idea.
Captain, it is 2 a.m. They're all asleep. I think we should just leave. They don't even know he's on the boat.
Yes, they only know that
Yeah.
we saved him.
We don't want to maybe draw attention to ourselves.
Did we
do
point out our boat to them? Can I remember if we did that?
I think they knew.
We came
So-
off our boat.
Yeah.
What weapons do they have on their ship?
They had a ballista.
A ballista?
Yeah, I told everyone, so you would have all been in the same area, and I would have come and told you that they have the ballista and they have the scorpion.
And a cannon.
I remember the ballista was the massive.
Yeah.
Look, I just don't think they're here next to us silently by coincidence. They're here to bully us. Alright? And we don't want that happening throughout the whole journey.
Okay, nice.
We could send them a message, something, just something to say we're not.
Hostile.
Whatever they think you are.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
At this point, Grassus comes up to this conversation. Look, Captain, I respect what you have to say, but I think any interaction that we have with these people is going to be negative. I know these kind of people that you find on
Who
the
said
docks.
anything about interaction, Grass? We tie Toddle around to the Scorpio, shoot it over.
I could fly to it.
Well, that could be seen as a sign of aggression,
Yes.
first of all. Second of all, like I said, I think that regardless of how you interact, whether it be bottle, whether it be person, I think this type of people that are going after someone because they're them, it seems, is not going to be reasonable at all, and likely would need to be humiliated in combat. That's most likely the kind of people they are.
Jump off his fingers and send them into
Well, not,
I need these!
maybe not that. Maybe chop off their fingers, if given the opportunity. But as pointed out by Robin, they have a ballista, so
Alright,
I
look.
think we should go.
Alright, nothing for now. We leave, but just keep it in mind, alright?
I think we leave
Do they
very
know
quickly.
that I'm on the ship? Because if they might attack us if they know that I'm on the ship.
Yeah, they could guess it.
Unless they saw you guys together afterwards. I mean, they disappeared from the dock last I
We did
saw.
say he's our contact like this. They might suspect it.
If they don't know, that could be the reason they haven't just opened fire or
That's true.
something. Or they simply have just... I mean, I don't think they've lost care for it, but it could be the reason.
I think, regardless, we should leave anyway, because if we do anything to antagonize them, we will end up in a fight, because they will like fighting, and we will lose.
We will end up.
I don't know.
May I say that's
why
my
the
advice?
bottle of rum is antagonistic, but
Should we try and disable their weapons? We could get there.
Grassus looks through the spyglass at their ship.
it's not so easy.
It looks again. They look like they're looking directly at this sort of person on the helm, on the
Oh, God.
that up there. And she looks back and goes, "Have any of you seen a piece of machinery that moves by itself?"
Have I?
Looks. Make a history check.
I have
15.
So you recall, I'd say you as well. I don't think you would have,
I'm just thinking about the safe.
not quite,
Right.
no, not the same. So yeah, Robin and Zero, you wouldn't have any idea.
Mhm.
You two know the most, Cadme and Novanox. You vaguely have seen one in the past, from what the description that Grassus gives, is a piece of machinery that does just that, is humanoid in some fashion, whether it be large and bulky, whether it be small and just simple. It moves by itself. It has its own seemingly power source, or is magically enchanted, by a wizard, who knows? But for whatever purposes, they are animated and they can function themselves. They are very, very rare. You've probably seen them as a study in a museum in Cognition, and you've probably seen it on your travels through your guild or wherever.
I'm thinking back to that one island that I visited.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Do they have a name?
You haven't. Well, you would know. They are simply called automatons.
Oh.
You've seen some really advanced ones to the point where they look like very human-ish, where they just lack specific features, but all the main parts are there. You know, audio receptors, eyes to a degree. You've seen.
I guess I've seen something like that before.
Captain, I really think we should get moving soon.
We've already roused the crew, so I presume they're like...
We're just waiting for the anchor. That's all. That's the last step. Anchor and maneuver.
God, it's time to move.
All right. She signals.
What about the thing that moves?
The anchor starts. Huh? What did you want to do?
Whatever Grassus was talking about, like why that was relevant.
Well, after she does that and the anchor starts to move, someone's going to have to take the helm. She kind of looks expectantly.
Start turning the ship as the anchor's coming up.
She goes back to the conversation with you guys. Just with the... What, I don't remember what it was called, but whatever it is, it's...
Automatons.
Right, that. It is... I think it's one of them. It's just a piece of metal that's moving by itself. It looks like a round face. Just have a look. So yeah, you have a look, and it's just a very humanoid... Do you know iRobot with Will Smith?
Yes. Oh, God.
Think that, but think...
Creepy.
Think that, but less...
Plasticky.
Less plasticky, yes, but less human-like.
Oh,
So
great.
they have just simple metal that's sheared and shaped and hammered in.
Right.
That seems to have very like cog-like joints, and
Like
the way it's
kind of thing?
yeah, kind of like that, but less of a face, more
Yeah.
of just kind of like Wally but round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, the way it moves as well is very much mechanical, like, and you can see, the eyes from the power source are glowing like a yellow.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, is
They don't look evil. It's just kind of creepy.
Yeah. It's not moving like very fluidly. It's sort
Yeah,
of...
it's very like do the robot dance.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like automatons that I've seen in Konishan, but yeah. It's not super advanced.
While you guys look at that, I would have gone over to the captain and just asked, I guess, Captain, are we going to drop the sail to try and get some speed, maybe? I thought that I could blow some wind onto the sail to speed it up, if you like.
Aye, look, as soon as the ship's pointed just away from there, from that stern, we'll start dropping slowly, get some wind.
I can make some more wind for us.
How long is their ship?
How long? All the statistics I have.
Ask me this question.
How long is their ship?
Sizes and everything, okay?
48.3 kilometers.
Well, I for one think it's a very long ship.
Okay. Well, yeah,
And it's balanced.
well, some ships are just
Okay.
wide, and that's alright as well, though.
Yeah.
You just do that whenever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll give her the signal. It'll be as soon as he sails.
I can make a small amount of wind, but it's better than nothing, and it will help get us moving just a little bit faster.
Some of us can excuse some cover. So we can get away.
A little bit of
Cover.
fog, maybe, would be very helpful, if you can muster that up again.
Bigger than the ship.
Oh, yes.
I don't know yet.
If I recall, I think it's fine.
40 feet down.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And I mean, if
But
I'm
we have to.
if I'm blowing up a gust of wind here, it'll just sort of...
Well, it just needs to be on their
On
weapons.
their ship, yeah.
Specifically so they can't aim at us.
We have to be very close to them, though.
150 meters now.
It's 120 feet.
Okay, so according to Wikipedia, the largest from the Ming Dynasty in between 1368 and 1644 says that the largest vessel, the treasure ship, which was just its name, measured from modern research to have not exceeded 70 meters. So you can imagine that this ship is likely to be probably half that.
Yeah.
Probably like 35, 40 meters.
So
I'm going to put that as an average length.
Mr. Smart Pants, here's the length of the ship.
Okay.
It's
Catch up to the
It's
ship.
too big for me to cover with a fog cloud, so
We'll be able to catch up to the
But
ship if we
you
set
can
sail.
cover us.
You can cover their view as well.
how big's out?
Average size. Nothing special.
Okay, no, but it's less than that. Obviously, because they have a big ship and our ship is therefore smaller. So how much fog can you make?
Where was the ballista?
At the end of the at
Where
the
was
back
the
end of
cannon?
the ship, in the middle.
In the middle. How big's your fog cloud? 40 meters. 40 feet.
Okay, but this fog, when you through the fog in the city, it was so thick we couldn't even see through it. It's already dark at night time, and so if you just throw your fog down in between us and that ship, it will create a barrier.
Yeah, do that if we turn.
Don't two people have fog cloud?
What?
Don't two of you have fog cloud?
You do it.
I changed it.
Oh, okay.
We need to get 120
Wait,
feet
think
from
so.
the spot.
Right.
Oh.
It's
But aren't we
pretty
already
far.
120
I can-
feet from them because we're 150 feet away
No,
from them?
we're
150 meters away
150
from
meters away from it. We're like 500 feet away from them. But I can swim.
Yeah, okay, do that.
You can catch up.
Yeah.
Look,
I can do that.
just go there. Put a fog cloud on their cannon so whoever's firing the cannon can't see us.
I mean, the anchor's going right now. Like, it's almost all the way up.
Yeah, and now
So, like...
3, 2, 1, go.
Just sprint off the ship, dive in.
I'm turning the ship.
I'm just
Coming up.
waiting by the sail for the sail to
Yeah.
drop so I can just
As
do a
soon
little
as the
gusting.
sails come down, right?
Should put that
And I'm
sticky
just-
foam thing
The gel, yeah.
on their anchor so they can't pull it up or something like that.
You'd have to give it
There's
to
too
Anther
much
before he
going on.
leaves them. though.
Yeah.
I'm running off the ship if you want
You
to.
can't
Yeah,
do all that
it's
too
too
late.
late.
That's true.
So,
I'm signaling to
Yeah,
drop
probably
sail
is.
like any second now as soon as we've turned far away enough, and I'm just hoping he gets there in time.
alright, and your plan is to...
Chuck it like midway between the two ships once we start
Okay.
like turning.
So in the middle of the 150, you're
Yeah,
planning to put it there. Okay, cool. What's the range on that?
120 feet away, I can do it.
Okay.
It's a 20-foot radius here.
Right, so how long does it last?
Lasts an hour with concentration.
So how long are you going to stay there for? Because your swim speed
Is 4
is a
times
lot-
the boat.
is 4 times the boat, so you can essentially stay 4 times longer than it would take you. Or,
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
whatever
can
math.
wait an hour,
Yeah,
and
like half an hour.
catch up to you guys
Yeah.
in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Slay.
We wouldn't need to. We just need like a bit of excuse so they can't.
That's if we were
task
going
properly.
at full speed,
Yeah,
though.
which
That's
should not slow.
Yeah.
I'll wait until something's happening with their ship before I do it.
Because I will point out, we'll take a bathroom break in a minute, just so you know. I mean, you can go. I'm just letting you know because I also need to go. Just so you know as well, the ballista on the stern, which means it's facing the channel the way you guys are going.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to place the fog cloud, if you're wanting to specifically obscure vision,
Mhm.
you can either do it in between the boats now, or you can do it as you're going away, so that you have a better chance at them not being able to fire the
I'm gonna
ballista
wait.
properly.
I'm gonna wait to do it until
Okay.
they actually start doing shit, and then I'll decide whether I put it on the ballista or just between the two boats.
Okay, so what happens, in short, is essentially we'll call it a watchman for now, the automaton on the top. They obviously notice your movement and stand up and go over to the port side of the ship and just with their lantern just stand and stare at your ship as ding, 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 as you start like moving towards. At that point, you drop the sails and you start as this wind now, because you waited out the day, is actually favourable. You've got would be a westerly wind, which is coming from the west to the east, which means it's the best time. Just so happens.
She's also.
And I just want to use prestidigitation
Oh,
to like
that's
do a little
just a
puff of
cantrip.
wind.
That's not going to be enough
It's-
to do anything.
It's not a puff of wind, so I don't know how
It's-
big a
it's
puff
not
of
gonna-
wind
It's
is.
like a puff of wind's like a fart.
Oh, that's okay.
Unless you want to fart at the tail.
You can blow out a
It's
candle.
not going to do much.
Oh, well, that's
Um,
okay.
Good try though.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
So, yeah, by the time you get, say, 50 meters away, you can see that the watchman is just watching you guys go. They don't seem to be making any moves to disturb the crew. Yes,
I didn't see anyone on top, do I?
just the automat.
I thought there was one person.
That is
Sorry.
That was the
Oh.
person.
Can I just... Can I climb up the side of the boat?
Here we
Bro.
go.
my god.
How about we leave that to when we
just
come
go?
after the break?
Yeah.
We're going to go on a bathroom break. And well, actually, a little lunch break.
I'm gonna steal an automaton, you guys.
Oh, I thought you were just like stowing away.
I'm just gonna
Pretty
throw
sure
it.
they
Please,
know
oh god,
waterproof.
no.
Yeah, I'll just try and throw it overboard.
And we will be right back. Okay, we're back from lunch break. We are currently still munching as we do not have a lot of time left. However, here we are. Yes, get your crackling gun. Pulling out the Servian. He's tenderly looking at said Servian. He proceeds to place the serviette in the greasy bowl and then ponders what is in the rest of the
Oh, the
serviette pack.
spoon.
A spoon, very useful tool for the adventurer. Tearing through the rest of the pack, he finds
Here we go.
treasured loot of the treasured KFC napkin. Very valuable resource in these days. So yeah, you guys are currently 50 odd meters away from this other ship. You don't know the name of it yet. And you throw up your fog cloud.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Right. How long? What are you waiting
Oh,
for?
last an hour.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, I'll do it on the ballista.
On the ballista, like centered on the ballista.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
And then I'll make my way up to the automaton to bonk it.
Oh, you're getting on.
You actually?
Yeah, sure. I can jump off.
Okay. All right.
If I can get up there, like, and there's not 20 people, like, on
How
top of the
close? Yeah. How close are you to the ship?
We're not coming back for you, man.
deck. I can catch up.
This is now or never.
Yeah, if you live.
I'm up next to it. Like,
Okay. So yeah. Right. Okay. So very well. I'll say for the ship, there's nothing on your guys' ship. There's not going to be any major skill checks or anything involved for the foreseeable
Sailing.
future. Right now. Yeah, you just sailing. So unless there's something happening with Anther or something you want to do, that'll be that. So Anther, do you cast Fog Cloud and then climb?
I'll climb up first, have a look if it's
Okay.
clear.
Are you trying to do this stealthily?
Yep.
Roll me stealth check, please. I would. Yeah, I would say
And
20
a
straight roll.
crit
20? Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, you start climbing up the hull of the ship, slowly, surely, and eventually you find what feels like a ladder that you imagine to make it a lot easier. There's a point where you reach your head over to what would be like the deck. You have a quick look around. Doesn't seem like there's anyone on the deck. You know there's the automaton on the upper deck. If you look up to your right, you can just see some light passing through the helm and the steering, the wheel. Do you climb on board? You can't see the ballista. You can see the tip of the ballista from where you are. It's quite a steep, like.
And I don't see anyone on the deck besides the automaton.
You would have heard some occasional snoring as you went past some of the windows from the lower deck. It's quite hard to hear though because it is very thick. But yeah, I mean, people are sleeping.
Is the automaton at the edge?
No, he's kind of centered in the middle, so you can't see him.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I can't even like get.
No, you're just seeing the light pass through
diving.
from where the light is on the deck. Actually, no, true, because he stood up to
Yeah,
watch the
that's what I
ship.
was thinking.
So yeah, okay, so my bad. So I would say yes, you're able to see his head on the side where he's come to the port side to look. Now, kind of like leaning over, looking your ship's direction.
So from the side, can I work my way across and look at it? Does it look dangerous? Like
The automaton.
yeah.
Maybe an insight check.
What is he watching for exactly?
Inside is 12.
12.
Mm-hmm.
It's very low light. Aside from the lantern that it's currently carrying, you can see now the more intricate details of. It looks very complex and like modern and futuristic to you, but as far as the automatons go that the rest of the party has seen, it's quite a basic automaton that it looks like. Like there's no shielding from some of the joints. The shoulder is literally just moving cog parts and gears that has like a ball socket that you can see. It has a couple tubes on the back that seem to look possibly reinforced to some degree, but they're still outstanding tubes that go to the lower part of, like the nape. Its body is encased in just what looks to be some sort of metal. You have no idea at this distance.
I'm trying to see if
So it's not. It doesn't look like it has any weapons on it.
Yeah.
Per se.
If there's a way to disable it or pull it overboard safely and quickly, otherwise I'm not.
You're not very familiar with metal is the only thing.
Yep.
Because otherwise I could be like, well, if you did this, then you would know. But if it was a normal human, you would assume that you could probably easily come up from behind and shove it off. But you just have no idea how much it weighs.
Yep. If I can slide along the rail and just like with my axe from underneath it maybe, and just smash her in the face and then jump off the boat.
Okay, like Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Right. You've already rolled stealth, so that's okay. It's definitely above its perception.
All over again.
We'll find out.
We're in trouble.
I just love how when Cadme accused you of throwing the snowball, you're like, no, it's him. But now you're the one that's going off and being too stupid. Anyway, so you take out your axe, you shuffle along the upper. Again, I don't know the exact terms, but like the banister railing, just to the point where you can see and you can hear like the ticking, like of just different various parts of it, and like a soft of like release of pressure when it moves. There's not a lot of movements at this stage, as it's just watching your ship go. You come up and you swing, roll me an attack with advantage for this.
Sneak attack.
That's 19.
Yeah, massive. 25.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. Roll me damage for your axe.
10.
10?
Yep.
Look up.
This has gone better for you than I thought, honestly. So far.
10 points of damage? Okay. You smack this axe straight into the center, and the face, what would be, just the face metal, dents inwards, increases. It doesn't perforate. It doesn't go all the way through, but it dents it in, like caves it in. The eye sockets, where like the hole in the metal is for the glowing eye sockets that you can see on a yellow now, up from the power core, you'd assume whatever is powering it. The whole face kind of plate has kind of bent outwards as the pressure inwards, so it's kind of, you can assume its periphery is probably now obstructed, and it kind of goes as it's thrown backwards. I'm assuming you're leaning into the waist, like you're coming on board as you're smashing
I'm
it
not coming on
to try and just like.
If that doesn't like completely kill it, I'll do my extra attack and then I'll flurry of blows.
First, let me roll to see if
So
it.
mean.
Let me roll to see if it maintains its grip on the lantern. Okay, it succeeds. So the lantern remains firmly in its hand as it staggers back. You pull your axe back. It seems you can see the lights flicker a little bit, but then it looks back at you, and it's just, if an automaton could be surprised, you'd imagine it is right now. I'll give you another action. Actually, let's roll initiative.
It's like a surprise round, yeah.
Yeah, let's roll initiative just to see. It rolled a 5, so
15.
What do you want to do in this action? It looks like you've done quite a lot of damage to it.
I want to try like pull it off the ship, but I'll like smash its face into the railing a couple times first. Because I can burn a section, flurry of blows.
I will point out, an axe to a metal surface left, like you guys all heard, even because like it's a still lagoon, right? You heard the clang. There's a chance that it may have woken the light sleepers.
Yeah, I'm like one turn and I'm gone.
Great.
However, if you proceed to smash its face on the railing of the ship of sleeping people, it might not be the stealthiest option. If that is what you want to do, I'm all for it. But just so you know,
with my action, I'll try and pull it off the ship.
Okay. I will say then, if you're not doing damage, we'll take this as a grapple. So roll athletics. And it will roll. Oh, Jesus Christ.
13.
I've got to get the stats for this thing now. So 13 total.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah.
Well, it's rolled a natural 14.
Oh, okay.
We'll see what its modifier is though.
-2. No, it's got at least +1.
Yeah, it depends on if it's negative or not. So,
It might be.
Something in this
I
process.
can
had to go
still
wrong.
like smash its face into the deck like 3 times. Because if they're part of the event,
0, you're off the
them
book.
not having a sentry will be a benefit to us.
See,
But you've also put a target on this thing.
Sim, this is what I was dealing with when you were gone. There wasn't a second voice of reason. Like I was by myself here. I tried.
Thing and getting
This is a terrible idea.
It's just
yeah, no, so
Bro, they pulled up.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're doing.
it succeeds. So you try and wrap your axe around the neck, and it just manages to dodge out the way. You still, I mean, it's still your action.
If it's dodged back. See, I don't want to get in the ship. I'm gonna jump
It's
off
time to
the
go.
ship.
Come on,
I'm gonna
just
jump off the ship.
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried to pull it. I'm jumping off.
Are you still going to cast Spell Cloud or not?
I will 40 feet away.
Unbelievable.
Bonus action another 40 feet away, use a key point. So I'm 80 feet away now. And then I'll cast Spell Cloud next turn.
Okay. So using your movement, you are, and your bonus action, you are dashing.
Up the road.
Yeah, I'm 80 feet away.
This is not what I expected at
Opportunity
all.
attack.
So
Natural
I never leave you to
17.
do shit again.
What's your AC?
18.
Okay, so it will hit you.
oh my god.
It's
What the hell?
so
Look at guys.
okay.
He's literally by himself.
That's right. This is the one shark.
It's going to. Actually, no. It's not going to do that one. It's going to do this one.
Maim. Cuts off your
You
tail.
take-
You're being comfortable, by the way. You're being
You take-
comfortable right now.
6 points
okay.
of piercing damage as. And I'd like you to make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Oh,
Oh, great.
what has
Oh,
it
it's
done?
10.
Is that a 14?
It's harpooned you and it's just gonna boom. You can't
You know
can't
what?
leave.
So what
Bye.
did you roll?
It's got Sentinel.
10?
Just 10.
Reduces
Okay.
your movement to 0.
You are lucky because I rolled a 4.
Oh, sure.
But what you see out of your periphery as you're in that split moment decision, thinking, okay, shit, I gotta get out of here, leaping off, you're looking back as you're diving off, and you just see this come past your face and then retract into your shoulder, and it's this grappling hook claw. Part of the claw, yeah. You see that, like, looking back, as it pulls through your shoulder, not enough to actually catch you, it's just pulling through and ripping your skin.
Yep, just like that.
You can see it pulls back to its right arm that has changed
That's
from what you saw it.
knowledge.
But it does not manage to grapple you as you land swoosh in the water. It stings like a bitch.
Salt.
It is salt water straight into a fresh wound.
That's my favourite.
However, you're escaping currently. It is then its turn. Still, it's going to use.
I'm diving
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, you move 80 feet first.
Yeah, it's 80 feet.
And then it's
yeah.
his turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay. So you're 80 feet, and then its turn. So it's going to move. Yeah. So all you guys then hear this ding 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 ding
Oh,
ding ding
really?
ding ding ding.
You twat.
So after he's told us that he's just going to go and cast a fog spell,
You absolute
I think we just sigh and should have seen that coming.
There's a point at which you kind of have to think to yourself, whose team is he actually?
Yeah. Is this sabotage?
Now
Captain, is this sabotage?
when we see them on the
I'm
island,
not sure if we should let him back on the ship.
Get the candles ready.
What if he
So-
is a secret spy of evil?
So what this automaton is
so confused.
what this automaton is doing, it's moved over and it's obviously ringing the alarm bell. You can see the lantern has now been placed. Are you going? It's now your turn again. Are you going to cast fog
I'm
cloud?
120 feet away from the boat, and then I'm just gonna wait to use fog cloud on the
Oh,
ballista.
What are you waiting for?
Movement and people looking around and going, "What the fuck's going on?"
Okay.
Then I'll fog cloud.
For the sake of brevity, it'll take, I'd say, 3 rounds for enough people to come on board, realize what the hell's going on, seeing your ship in the distance, seeing their nearly destroyed automaton, had 5 hit points left, by the way. And
Cast the fog cloud.
too late now, because 3 rounds in, people are getting on the ballista.
Okay, I've cast it as soon as people have gotten up.
Okay. So you cast fog cloud.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean you're all hearing shouts and screams and like,
Great.
"Grab the ballista! Get them!
oh.
Who was that? Who did this?" And you hear this. And there, people are like searching across the ship. You then hear this clunk, 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 clunk as the anchor's
that's
coming up.
This is why.
But the fog cloud is up.
You fucked us.
And as you do the fog, you guys can't see him, but he's got the cheekiest little grin on his face right now, like a shame. The fog cloud goes up, and then you start hearing shouts of, "What the fuck? Where the fuck did this come from? Get this moving around! Come on, turn this shit around!"
I feel like I'm saying the same thing.
You then hear, you were hearing what you could probably assume was like movement of the ballista, kind of like things being, like levers being cranked and things like that. You then hear that stop once the fog cloud is up. And that's it for the moment. They're starting to turn the ship around. What are you doing in that time?
I'm just like 120 feet away in the water watching them.
Are you just staying?
I have to hold concentration on the fog
Okay.
cloud.
Okay. Can you move the clock flower? The clock.
It just like stays on the thing that it's on.
So, what the hell was that?
Wallet. Just stays there.
That didn't sound like a wallet to me.
It's metal.
Oh.
Jeez.
He's just
Sound like
talking
a-
about himbo. Personalities are just.
So, because you cast it on the ballista, is it going to stay on the ballista? Is what I'm asking, or is it a vicinity?
I think you cast it on an area.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
centered on a point within range.
Yeah,
spreads
and the
around
point would have been the
corners,
ballista, but it's not
heavily
attached to
obscured.
that. So,
Yeah.
if the boat moves, I mean, it'll still hang
It's
around.
gonna
It's still
take a
going to turn
while.
through
It's
it.
like- It can't
Yeah.
fire at us. Yeah.
Okay, so
The goal is for you guys to get away.
right.
Still working.
Which is what we're doing.
Still
Sorry.
working.
Yeah, it would have worked better if you hadn't done it.
Well, they can't fire until their anchor's up. Like
So-
they're still in the fog. They can't see where our ship is.
20 feet per turn, so you guys would have moved.
The fog will work. The fog
So
will
you
work.
guys have moved around 200 feet. No, even more. Probably around 220 feet, roughly, before you can see their ship broadsiding and starting to turn. They've you can see that a lot of the crew now, especially with your help being eyes, just watching Anther paddle in the water, you can see that a lot of the crew has now come to the bow, and the main part of the deck is organizing the sails and is also starting to man the cannon.
I aimed the Scorpio at Ant.
That's fair. Are you doing anything in reaction to this?
I'm
All
just
of us?
telling them what I'm seeing now.
Oh, you see, yeah.
They're manning the cannons, Captain!
Oh,
Who
is that?
could have ever foretold?
Wow, I wonder why they would be doing that. They must be awake.
You can hear all this, by the way.
Just shame.
Look, I'm taking out the sentry so that they don't spot us. It didn't quite work. So.
Why do I feel like the fog didn't wake them up?
Wait, how can they see us with the fog?
They can't.
Oh, we can't see them though.
Probably some of them can, but
Yeah,
the
but
ballista
remember-
themselves can't.
The ballista
because they're
can't
in
see.
the fog.
The
Yeah.
boat
Even-
is so long that it's longer than the fog.
Yeah, but we don't need the whole boat. It's the ballista is obscured,
Yeah.
so whoever's
Except-
in the ballista can't see a damn thing.
Yeah, except now the cannons are coming into range and coming into aim at you guys. They're broadsiding. So, no reactions to that then, aside from that?
Alright, I'll say,
Robin, just keep eyes on him. See if he's coming back to the ship. Din, I need you on grass and start loading the cannons.
Okay.
Just get ready.
and keep sailing away.
Okay, cool. I like, because for some reason I'm just imagining you three in my head as being closest to the bow. I mean, aside from you manning the helm, right? Which I imagine.
I'm on the ship wheel.
Well, you'd see anyway because you're at the higher point. On this side, the west side of the channel, you see lights on a moving ship as well, far down, about the same distance you saw the first one initially that was coming past, that sort of distance. But you see them.
Can you see what flag they have?
It is way too far and way too dark
Okay.
to make out anything there.
Even with like my spyglass, I wouldn't be able to.
Roll me a perception check at disadvantage.
Well, that's 18.
Roll again. Take the low.
It's 19.
Okay, so 18 is your lowest with perception. +4. Okay, 22. Dang. All right. What you see.
Right.
I was going to make a joke, but. So what you see is I mean, it's still super far away. All you're getting is like the main idea of the ship. It has one main mast and the jib, obviously. You can see on the bow, on either side, is written freedom on either side. It, excuse me, has this purplish type of sails, like purplish stained sails, and the flag that you can see, you can't really make out, to be honest, because they're sailing this way and it's a westerly breeze, so you can't really. The flag's like straight on.
Can I tell, like, roughly if the boat's like our size or more like the size of the boat next to us, sort of thing?
I mean, that sort of distinguishment. The boat that's next to you isn't that much bigger than you guys.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a galley and a rowboat. You know, it's more like a can of Pepsi Max and a bottle of Pepsi Max.
Right.
It's the distinguishment you just can't make out until they're much closer. However, so you see that in the distance on that side. You guys are starting to make your way around the edge. I mean, you still have to go through the center because of the sandbanks and stuff, but you're starting to get there. Basically, we're just waiting until the cannons are in range. So,
Huzzah!
unless there's anything else you want to do, I'm going to go ahead and fire some cannons at you.
They can fire
Yeah,
us.
go for it.
Oh my gosh. A poor ship.
It's only one cannon.
We're
You only saw the one.
You know,
I
there's a
can't do
fog
anything.
cloud in the way, though.
I have a scythe.
The fog cloud is not in the
The
way.
fog cloud is
anymore.
not in the way of the cannon. They have like turned the other way and shifted so that the cannon can get in range. Even if they got the ballista in range at this point, it can't twist that way.
Awake people move.
How?
It's
what
good.
distance
We
does the
saved us a
Scorpios
few
have?
rounds before they could fire
The
us.
Scorpios, let me check the resource. By JCV Parry, or whatever it was, JVC Parry.
The same as last session. I blame someone for this.
120 and then 360 with disadvantage.
Okay.
Is that the cannon range?
That is
the
the Scorpio range. or hand crossbow. Well, not hand crossbow. Mounted
Cannon
crossbow.
range is a lot more.
Cannon range is 600/2400.
Oh.
Yeah, and you guys are getting to the 250 feet mark.
I'm hoping we can.
Not die.
Yeah. Sail out towards the exit of the lagoon and still have enough of an angle to potentially aim the cannons back.
Right.
But I don't know if we're going to have that much of a turn in time.
I'm just gonna move my chair. Sorry, it's a lot of noise.
Something to note: you're going to have to start organizing that now. Then, because your cannons were on the. They would have been on the port side.
Oh no, we had one on each side.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You put one in. So
Well,
you
if
only
they
have the
weren't,
one
that's
then.
how I would have had it.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have specified.
No
I
worries.
thought that's what we did.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember.
I'm pretty sure we specified.
So
that.
yeah, that's fine. So you can go ahead and start getting some of the crew moving on that.
Yeah.
Particularly Dinjeri.
Yeah.
Start loading and aiming, because then you can then hold your action to fire once you're in.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the lights. Do you have any lights on your ship? Have you, since you've moved, have you ignited any lights or not?
Goblins have dark vision.
Goblins have dark vision. Still technically relatively pitch black, considering the light for cloud, the clouds above.
Is anyone not able to see?
I have dark vision.
Yeah, we're
I think
pretty
we all
sure.
have
I
dark
think
vision.
we've all got it.
The only risk this will be is you're going to make a skill check for survival for manning the helm of the ship, because
Without
you've got
running into the
to
sandbank.
avoid near invisible landmasses based on memory, right? And then whoever's manning the cannons have to fire. Anyone firing shots in this situation is going to be disadvantaged, including them.
Yes, that's what we want.
But if you have lights on, they're
see
going
us.
to just have
And we
flat.
can't see them. Do they have lights on?
They're starting to put lights on, yeah.
Right, so we can see them.
Yes.
We're keeping our lights up.
Okay. Alright. So the DC is going to be higher on your checks,
Yeah.
but they're going to have disadvantage to shoot you. That's how it's going to work. Is that how you want to go?
Yeah, it's, you know what, it's better if we nick a sandbank than get hit by a cannon.
Okay. Here we go. First cannon shot. You hear them, ready! You hear that, shoot, boom, as they like load the cannon. Aim! And all you can do is wait and watch.
Magic users.
Fire! Into the water next to you.
Yeah, so this whole...
Another! Load it!
Yeah.
You hear people.
As long as it takes, we're starting. If you can start loading the cannons, just as soon as there's like enough of an angle as we're turning out from the lagoon, that's when we're gonna fire. I just say,
Fire at will, Din.
So as you know, remember your AC is 15. So all they need is a 15 to hit.
Yeah.
And get that damn flag down, Robin.
Yep, I'm straight up on that. Yep.
Alright, so you're going to be doing that. That'll take you, I'd
Yeah.
say, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
'Cause it takes
Okay.
quite a while to get a flag down.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some goblins will be helping, but yeah.
I thought you just you could pulley it down at least to halfway and then they can't see it.
it's a system. You probably got to.
Yeah.
You just have a rope and it goes up.
It's not quite like that. You do pulley it like that, but there's extra steps. And it takes a while to pulley that thing down.
Just like a.
Because it's not just 6 seconds, right? Like it's take you at least 15 seconds. So, next shot, as you guys are continuing to maneuver, I'd say by this point, you're almost at the point where you could fire back. Next round. Ready! Aim! Fire! You just... That is... You hear, again, swoosh, but before you do, you hear it whiz past the main mast. You hear it slightly chip just a little bit, like the tiniest of splinter, as it like dusts down onto you, and then it goes past. Swoosh. That was one off. One. Alright, so we'll go to the next round. Are you still...
I'm just sitting in the water.
Okay, calm
No
down.
destroying any rudders now or something.
I can.
Rudders are They're thick.
I'm just not sure if
He's a
my
monk,
axe
right?
can do anything.
He's a monk, right?
Yeah, but it's better than doing nothing.
I mean, you could like spend a
you
few
can
minutes
do
hacking
other.
into it. It might
You
be
don't have
something.
to. Yeah, you don't have to see the fog cloud continually through your concentration. Now that
Oh,
it's
true.
up, you
Yeah,
can
okay.
do other
Yeah,
things and
right,
it won't break
I'll
concentration.
get
They haven't seen you yet. That you
within
know of.
40 feet of the boat, underneath the water,
Okay.
like deep underneath, and then next turn I'll be able to attack.
Right. Since you're so close, you can now see them. They're holding their position because you can gather that they're favoring the cannons right now. You can also see that the sentry, the watchman, the automaton that they put out has disappeared. We're getting a phone call. Please hold. Where was I? What was I saying?
They were
I'm
holding
getting
their
close enough.
position.
Yes, holding
They're
position.
holding.
You're close enough. You can see that the automaton has been taken off. You can't see them anymore.
I'm just staying under the water, and I'll go hack at the rudder next
The
turn.
hack at the rudder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I won't get you to roll me an attack. It's because they've anchored, or like they're maintaining position. It's not going to be too hard. I will say, just roll me damage.
Just whatever.
I'll get you to roll me damage every round
Okay.
because there is a damage threshold for every boat.
Okay. I'll use my big axe.
Big boy axe. Yeah.
How many axes do you have in your person?
2.
Yeah, right.
It's only 7.
37.
Can I give him inspiration?
Can't do
So
anything
far
right now
away.
for him.
Right.
So far.
Okay. Yeah.
A 7 is not going to do it, unfortunately. It's just the currents and everything with the tide coming out. It's just not right. And
My max damage is a 14. So if the threshold is above
you
that.
gather that it's very thick. Like it's the size of the width of your body. It's probably not going to be able to do enough damage at all.
Can I shake water
The ship
and
was
freeze
still, and you had like a couple hours.
freeze the water in like a 5-foot cube around the rudder so it can't turn?
So here's the thing: a rudder on a ship is moving a ship that has
It's probably gonna break
potentially
gas, but
200 tons worth of weight in it. I don't think 5 foot of some ice is gonna do anything for it.
We don't have that kind of power yet.
So every turn I can freeze 5 feet of water and it unfreezes in an hour. And I'll just start doing that, like, all around it, and that's all I can do.
So every
Give yourself away, dude.
every 6 minutes you're gonna hear this, like, because sound travels really well through water, so you're just gonna hear this as the ice just breaks as soon as the rudder moves just the smallest bit.
Oh, really? Like, it's just breaking every time?
It's-
It's not even building up?
No.
Alright, so then
It's this much ice.
Yeah.
This much ship.
can't do anything.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm done.
sorry. Alright, okay. Another shot. Ready?
Ship.
Aim. Fire!
I don't know anymore. I hate this.
Are we firing?
As soon as we have an angle.
Alright. You then hear this. So far, you've all been driven with this anxiety, trying to get away, trying to just avoid the situation that Anther has put you in. You continuously hear these cannibals. And now the dreaded moment where you hear as part of your ship is taken away into the water. Some of the banister just smashed.
Alright.
And you hear this. It's a lot of damage. I'm gonna need more dice.
Mudcock! He was my favorite!
You're a bad person! You're such a bad person!
More dice.
This is the same level as how angry I was at Mal,
Hey,
slicing my
we have no
buddy
idea what he
Alice.
did. We don't know. Anything could have happened on that ship. We have no idea.
Well, I did try to take out a sentry, and it was a robot.
Maybe
I
he
don't
was
wanna-
trying to parlay with them, and they were just like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I don't want to hear his excuses. I am already going to beat him when he comes back.
That's rude.
There's no
That
way.
is a conversation.
No,
Right.
you don't get that option.
That's too many.
So many dice.
It's a lot of dice. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's see what these numbers are.
All right.
I unfortunately rolled really well.
There we go. You're 200
There's a lot of 6s here. And a 10.
Oh no.
As long as our masks are up,
God.
we're not sinking. We're okay.
We've got a lot of hit points.
The
in our
dusty plank is down a
There's a lot
plank
of
or so.
boat. Yeah. It's the most
Yeah.
dice I've ever heard
Just
roll
a
the
few.
moon attack before.
That was probably like 10d6 or something like that.
Hee hee. So fun.
You take 45 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ship damage.
So they go from
What
200,
about?
200 minus 40, what did I say? 45?
If the ship sinks,
Yeah, 45 points.
what's happening to the cannon?
Because you have a cannon as well, you know each cannon shot is
They're big boys.
8d10
8d10.
Wow.
bludgeoning
Jesus
damage.
Christ.
Huzzah.
So yes, you all look to this just destruction of the banisters where there's just a giant hole being smashed through, where the wood is now splintered off into the tide, and among this splintered wood and across the deck is just a spatter of blood. You don't see any bits and pieces. It's just blood spatter, and that's it. So that's them. It's now your turn. You are now coming around this this side here, where you are broadside and in the channel. So you do have 3 rounds where you have sight enough over the land to shoot and are in range, if you would like to.
Of course. As
Secure
soon
gun.
as it's shot.
I would like to.
Actually,
There's nothing
you
in
get to
his body
shoot, I'd
left.
say you get to shoot twice because you have held your action to fire. You've
Yeah.
already been aiming, and then with obviously all your crew's help, you would be able to load, aim, and fire at the same turn. So go ahead and make 2 shots at just straight roll because they have their lights on.
Oh god.
God. What's our cannon range?
Oh no.
600
10
feet.
and 4.
10 and 4, so that's plus 6.
We're nearly out of range.
So 16
they're not gonna
and
be able to hit us
4s. Oh, it'll just be 10. So one of those will hit.
Okay.
I'll say the first one, excuse me, that you fire off, almost hitting you, Anthe, as you see the cannonball just like maybe 10 meters away, just sinking to the depths.
for long. Intentional?
And collateral. And then
You're off the
you know,
team.
you think, okay, just practice. Well, you know, it's the first time we've shot this. So it's actually the very first shot you've shot in your cannons. Polish it off, load, aim, fire, and the next one, smashing into the probably their port side. On sort of, if you think about where the cannon is, probably down, I'd say about the 7 o'clock mark.
Yep.
Straight through the hull on the upper deck. And you hear, we've been hit, we've been hit!
Nice.
Aim, load, damn it! Roll
some damage.
8d10.
Okay. Can I borrow some dice, please? I got 1, 2, I got 5. I can use a D10 or a D100.
Unless there's anything else you guys want to do, we're just gonna.
10?
I think the best thing
It's
would
got
just
12
be
on it
to
though.
make the consecutive shots. Essentially.
This one a 10?
Yeah, whatever gets that done.
Sounds good. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many did you say? 10?
These ones that are
What?
more
What
What kind of
confusing.
spells?
Oh, you can just take the first number,
They're
right?
like
Like,
too far
it's
away
so
for us
far
to do
away,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, we
0
can't do
is
anything.
10.
Yeah, same
Like
as
the
this one.
furthest
Yeah,
I can
0 is
hit
10.
someone is maybe 100
Did you need this one?
feet
No,
with like anything.
Eight.
That's
You
11.
need 8 of them.
8, 1, 2,
I have
3,
Hunter's
4, 5,
Mark, which
6,
which
7,
can follow
8.
people,
go.
but
Yeah.
I've
You
just
have to
rolled
be
3,
far
I got
away,
on the
yeah.
3, right?
Right. So before you roll those, is there anything else in the next 3 rounds that you guys want to do? Because otherwise, to keep this short, we'll just roll to hit each other, and then roll the damage after, and then you'll be out of range and see what happens.
How far is that other ship?
On the other ship,
we're
at
down.
least a kilometer.
Oh, okay.
They're far away.
No, I'm just trying to go full speed ahead without hitting anything.
Yeah.
Basically.
Full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So before damage, we'll roll. You'll get 3 more shots,
Okay.
and I'll get 3 more shots. Since there's nothing else that you guys want to do,
Okay.
we're just going to do
And then
3
roll
more,
all
and then
together.
we'll do the damage. It's going to be a lot of damage. So we'll see who survives.
By 3 more, do you mean 2 dice 3 times, or just 3 more?
Well, I'm the only one at disadvantage. You can do straight roll. for
Okay.
each shot. So you can roll 3d20s.
Yeah.
And then add 6 to whatever the result is. You
Okay.
need to beat a 15 as the
Okay.
AC, or 15 or above.
Okay.
And I'll do the same at disadvantage. That's not going to do it.
Oh,
That'll,
no.
Fuck.
You got one
we
of
got
them.
one
that'll
hit.
be 12. That'll definitely hit.
Oh boy.
It's a 20. That will not hit. That's a 12.
Okay, one hit
Okay.
each.
So one hit and one nat one.
Okay.
But that's
And 111. One hit.
Yeah.
One
One,
Out of 3. do you
one
think?
out of three.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 1 hit.
Yes.
We're saying we've got the
One
same
hit
shots in
each.
each other.
Okay. Natural one, first of all. Let's see. What could happen?
Runs over someone's foot.
Oh, actually, no. You know what? Roll me D100.
Oh, okay.
If you roll below 30, you will hit Anthem.
Oh, I'm dead if you hit me.
ah.
I mean, you're deep in the water, so it's not going to be in full capacity.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
alright, okay, yeah.
Oh, fine.
It's 19.
Wait. Oh,
19.
Slow,
You
yeah.
rolled 19?
Yeah, hit me.
Let
Let me bring my health
Oh,
up.
fuck.
Let me bring my health up,
Damage.
guys.
I can't.
It's a natural one.
can't
Well,
see.
I'm short of blowing up your cannon.
Yeah.
Alright. So, because it's, under the water at that capacity, it's going to slow it down a lot. So,
Yeah.
I'll say only roll 2d10.
2d10.
And it might not be
I
like
might
a direct
live. I might live. It's okay.
through the chest.
Yeah, no, it's not like you're standing in front of the cannon.
Oh.
So we rolled a 10 on a d10 and a 5. What are your hit points?
I'm at 14.
Why are you at 14?
Why are you at 14?
Because he got 6 from the...
For the robot.
He got
From the
because he
robot.
You're
attacked
an
the
idiot.
robot. Oh my god! Did we see him get hit?
I mean, you're watching this. I'd say
He's
make a perception
unconscious
check.
in the water.
When you also hold
he doesn't
the
drown,
spyglass,
right?
No.
So make a
Does he
perception.
float?
Like, you'll be okay. Like, you won't, like, drown.
Fish float when they die. So
I got a 2.
What the hell are we going to
I'm
do?
not going to see shit.
I got a health potion on me, guys.
Oh, you gonna use my health potion? Bitch?
I mean, I saw him when I was out before.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That health potion was kind of expensive.
Remember at the beginning of the session you said Robin
he would-
might be
he would-
leaving this?
He'll
actually,
lose concentration, so... if the
Oh, yeah.
fog cloud-
no, the fog cloud. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point.
You're unconscious.
So
no more fog cloud.
most of you guys that know magic will know that there's concentration, right? You have to maintain focus on it. If something happens, that concentration drops, whether that's just losing focus or whatever. So you guys are firing off these shots, and then on your second shot, you hear the sploosh, and then like literally 5 seconds after the shot, you're all watching this because this is a fight. I'm assuming you're not all like going down below decks.
No.
You guys see the fog cloud die down, disappear.
Oh no!
I haven't rolled for the second attack yet, right?
I thought you rolled 3 times.
But for the
No,
damage...
we haven't rolled
haven't
any
done
damage.
We haven't done
Oh,
damage.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the
We
boats.
haven't done damage. This was just
Important
collateral.
stuff's happening. My death.
You've done damage for him.
Okay.
Let's get through this first.
I'll say on the next round, you will float to the surface.
Okay. Unconscious?
No, alive.
I'm dead.
Yes, unconscious.
Did I see him?
On the next round, you'll see him float to the top. I'm sorry, is this not entertaining enough for you?
No, I just... Nothing.
Yeah, so let's roll damage for the ones that hit then, which is only 1 shot.
No, the first one hit, which we haven't rolled damage for.
Yeah, but not the second one.
One hit me.
You rolled 3 times, you only hit once.
Hit
Ah,
the
so
boat
the
once.
3 times was also that one we did earlier.
Okay.
Oh, right, yes.
We
No,
didn't
we
roll
have
damage for
2
that one
hits
either.
You
to
have
roll
2 hits to
damage
roll.
for.
I have 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
24.
Chaos.
24,
Just chaos.
33,
Ooh!
38,
What are you shaking your head
44,
I'm so disappointed
50.
in several people.
53.
53 for 1,
No,
Okay,
54.
just give me a second.
54,
Calculate
yeah,
that.
plus 1.
Keep it
And
in
you
your
got
heads.
one more.
No, we already did that one.
We didn't roll the damage.
We didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
We only rolled damage for Anther.
Alright. So that's 20, 30, 39, 45, 50, 55. Plus, what was the first one?
54. We got freaking 99 damage.
99 damage.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Wait, 55 and
54.
54. How's that only 99?
Oh. Wait,
No, that's
It's
108.
sorry.
Yeah, 109.
Okay, you guys got lucky. I rolled really low. They only did 28 points of damage to your ship this
Ooh.
time. So this time they actually just get some of the rigging where you keep all the spare ropes, smash it out. You no longer have spare rigging. So if anything happens with that, you don't have any more.
Yeah.
You're buggered. However, you took minimal damage, 28 points. So I hope you're writing that down. And you did what? 109 points.
Yep.
Let me just get out my calculator because we were already 155 minus 24.
Yeah, that was like well above average for both.
What was it? They did 24 points, did you say?
Yeah.
Average
now
would be
they did
40 damage.
28.
per hit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 10
So we've
to
got 127 points left total.
Slay.
And you did 109.
Average would be 45 damage.
I'd like to
I
point
wonder
out we're
what
not
half
even
their ship
at the
has, though.
island yet,
More
and we're already at almost half.
Correct.
Just saying.
We can repair.
Whoa.
So what happened to you exactly?
You got hit by a cannonball.
How much
I've-
damage did it do?
Just 15 points.
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
unconscious.
but
He's sitting
I
at
smashed the
-1.
sentry in the face. Didn't kill it. Didn't pull it overboard. Jumped off.
All of
Got
us
hit by a
successful.
cannonboard.
I
And
can
then
just
died.
imagine just the fucking... the cannonballs start flying through the fog. And
Yeah.
then you just hear like just like that.
That's the Tom from Tom and Jerry. Except it comes up as bubbles. Maybe the whales would hear that.
Now the
Okay.
Kraken's here.
Cool. Yeah, whatever.
Just think that attack that shit.
Oh.
So, all around, there's been a lot of wood shattered and spread across the water in this area, vicinity. You then hear shouts. For the most part, you hear, "Stop! Call it off! Call it off! Let them go! Let's start repairs! You fucking idiot!" So it seems that they're not giving pursuit. So we'll do out of combat now. You then notice the body of Anther rising right next to their ship.
The hell we can do?
Oh no!
Oh, right. We pissed off without
Can I
him.
do some death saves?
I will take off
Actually, yes, it's technically the next round, so roll me a death save.
and head over
Where are you going?
to get dumber.
Fail.
Right, we're all aware that Anthony's unconscious in there.
If he's unconscious
Little blood fountain
and you're
comes out of his
flying,
mouth.
Cadme, would you be able to like use your claws to kind of drag him? Like, how fast can you fly?
30 feet.
You know I have health potions on me because I've been brewing them for the past few days.
Yep, I'm gonna get
My
within
health
60
potions.
feet.
Past day.
Yeah, and there's no fog cloud to.
Nope.
They can
But
probably
I am
see
very,
it.
very stealthy. And it is very, very dark.
You can't.
You've
lift
got
him,
white
though, can
feathers, and they've
There's
got
no
lights on.
moon.
You're gonna be flapping right above the water,
Owls don't
dragging.
make sounds when they fly.
No, that's true. Actually,
You
they
can
are.
So, do they make sounds if you've got your talons
No,
like a
it's
merman
a-
in the water while you're trying
I'm
to drag
only
it through?
getting. I'm trying to get within 60 feet of Anther.
Okay, no dragging.
It's true. Owls have actually been like recorded, and they're almost completely
It's
silent.
insane. You cannot
Yeah,
hear
you
them.
kind of shit.
Owls are what
It's very
plane
impressive.
designs are based on.
Yeah. Give me a stealth check with advantage then.
Planes also don't make noise.
You know what else doesn't make noise? Anther right now.
Yeah, man. Stop talking.
There's some coughing.
Shush.
The spotted.
15.
15.
Strangulation.
Great. So, because they have ceased trying to look for you and trying to shoot, they're no longer looking out.
Cool.
So I would say that passes. So you do manage to get in the vicinity of where Anther is, just like a dead little fish. Well, no,
Sweet. I cast Healing Word.
okay. You start drowning, waking up, coughing, spluttering water, only to then remember you can breathe it. But it's a very, very uncomfortable sensation.
You gain 5 points.
Oh my
And rolled low.
You should
Sorry.
be very grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm dead.
Wouldn't it be, if you gain 5 points, you're at -1, wouldn't it be 4
No,
points?
it's not actually minus.
Take your lucky stars out here, we can fly.
You have no idea what you would have done, bro.
I would have rolled 3 more successes and I would have swum back to the boat.
Like, I'd like to say, I would not have come back for you.
Might not have died, but
It's fine.
So if they aren't coming for me and I get within 60 feet and I cast, I want to sort of keep going towards him to make sure that he's...
okay. You can do so. He seems conscious and starts to like.
I'll start to like swim in the water. I'm like, mouth, thank you.
Okay.
But then I'll dive under.
Okay.
And
Is it alright?
I'll swim faster than you can fly.
Yeah, you
back
do.
to the
Yeah,
boat.
because I'm slow.
Roll me perception.
8.
8.
8.
Okay. Yeah, you get back to the ship pretty quickly. I'd say you're swimming at half speed.
Yeah.
Based on your recent encounter with death.
Bitcha!
As you're swimming through the water, you feel something brush past you. Something big, something pretty rough.
Okay.
But,
Sharks are
Bye,
but
Felicia.
before you can sort of stick around and get what it is, you're back at the ship. Do you want to climb back onto the ship or stay in the water?
Get on.
That's a terrible question.
the
Thank you for
ship.
giving me that one.
I like to tempt you guys.
Can we see him coming up to the boat? Is he like swimming on the surface or is he underneath the water?
He'd be underneath the water
Because-
until he gets to the ship.
Okay. So we wouldn't be able to like see him.
You'd be looking out.
Even if he was like 5 centimeters from
You would-
the surface,
yeah,
you would
you
not
would
see
see
anything.
shit,
It
yeah.
is pitch fucking black here.
The water doesn't help.
I'm back.
So are you getting on the ship or not? You're still thinking about this?
Yeah, I'm slowly climbing out of the ship.
Okay. Alright. Very slowly, might I add, because your shoulder is fucked.
Yep.
Um,
Stuff some berries
Yes.
in my mouth and I'll hit 10 points.
okay.
I'll offer him a hand to
Oh,
get him
they're
over
not
the edge
berries.
of the boat. I'm pretty sure you have seaweed or kelp.
They're seaweed.
Yeah, there's seaweed.
Well, I will be there for healing if need.
So this
When you
world
finally get back.
this world is very unforgiving. So because you almost died, you're going to have a -1 modifier to any acrobatics or athletics check.
Jeez.
Because it's essentially been partially dislocated, if you imagine it, with a grappling hook shoved through it. Even if it's magical healing, I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Ouch.
Will 10 2 wounds?
I'm pretty healthy. Just permanent damage.
Climbing up?
What happened at the...
Are you okay?
I'll tell you what happened. He did something dumb, didn't you? Now just tell us what the dumb thing was.
I tried to take out the sentry. Might not have been the smartest decision, but I thought if we could get away, it would work.
I'm at the helm.
I have made some silly decisions in my life.
And look where it landed you. You now have those people, your best friends, who have shot at us.
Best friends.
Your well, we all know that you guys got along just swimmingly when we first found you.
Oh, yes. They loved me.
Yeah. Now they love all of us just as equally.
They love him.
Yes. I'm sure that, what is it, centennial, automator, whatever you want to call it, it will remember us.
Centurion.
So you all start hearing wooden plank noises, like when wood bumps into each other or you hit wood on wood. You then hear slushing, whooshing noises through water. You look over the side, and in the debris that you've left behind now, 50 feet odd away, where all your wood splinters and partial banisters and ropes are just dangled, you see large fins.
Oh.
2 of them just moving, sinking, coming back to the surface.
You guys all hear this just
I'm gonna run over.
coming from the helm, and then just like
Do they look
it
like
turns
normal?
into like a slow. Now we're sailing. All right, crew. Grasses, keep those sails fixed with the wind.
If I see them,
Alright, Captain.
if I see them breach the water again, I'm gonna shoot at it with my gun.
Ooh!
Do they look like normal shark fins?
Or are they like...
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Pod racing.
21.
They look like normal shark fins from this perspective.
Oh my goodness! If you get off the ship again, I will tie you to it. We'll tie you to the mast.
Wait, is he anywhere near the edge of the ship? Are you near the edge?
No.
Good. Okay.
Roll me an attack.
Okay. Normal attack? Like...
Yeah, you're with your gun, right?
Yes. Okay.
You're shooting it?
I'm gonna try.
I've got you done. I'm wrapping your shoulder.
Best one is 13.
13.
Yeah, the other one's 8.
I can't believe I'm looking up a shark AC.
Can't we just leave them in peace? And just continue leaving? I feel like we should have learned a lesson. Just leave. Leave
run
them
like
alone.
cowards.
They smell the Ember's blood. I don't think they're gonna attack a ship.
Okay, you hit.
Okay.
Yeah, you pierce one of the fins, and you see the fin wobble, and it quickly swims away.
Okay.
How much damage do you do?
Then the Kraken just rises.
Now it's gonna go get his
The
mom.
fin rises, and it's just this little fin on top of the Kraken head.
6.
6? Okay. It's plenty. It's a hardy creature, and it's got plenty of scales and shit. Like they fight squid sometimes,
Okay.
or lose. But yeah, no, you shot it and it left, but there's still one there. But I mean, it's not following your ship. It's like where all the debris is.
Yep.
And ex-goblin pieces in the water. Yes. So,
Huzzah.
huzzah! Indeed, you managed to survive your first night. Now, what are you doing?
Repair.
Repair. That's probably a smart, sensible move. So the way repairs work on the ships is you can spend. Essentially, you can spend an hour to heal the ship 5 HP, but you'll have that limited amount because there's limited wood that you or repairs that you brought on ship. So I'd say you can probably get 35 hit points back if you got people, but then you'd be moving at half speed because it's going to take a bunch of people to fix this ship.
How many people do you think it would take?
Let's put it at 10 people.
Oh, okay. What if you had, say, 5 people working on it, and then it took them 2 hours?
Are we taking on water right now? Or anything?
No, you're not taking on water. Most of the shots were through what you could consider superficial things, like the banister and the extra rope rigging that you might have needed if other things got damaged. However, you can put less people on the repairs. It would take longer, and by the time the crew would be sort of getting to exhaustion, you would have less HP the next day, but you would be able to maintain speed.
Let's go full speed until daylight.
Till daylight.
And then start repairs.
Which isn't far off. You're about, 30. So yeah, you have about
4 hours.
4 hours, I'd say, left before it's sunrise.
Yeah, and we just finished a race, so 4 hours of full speed, getting the hell away from here, and then yeah.
Yep.
How's the moral after the goblin person got a...
This isn't,
Running overboard.
one goblin being shot in
Okay.
collateral A. It's more like, it's not going to affect that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
If you
It's
guys are
more
like,
like,
yeah, we'll
how do I-
sacrifice this one guy,
Mm.
then maybe.
Oh, I
But,
thought it might just
it's,
make
it's
them
just one of the
sad.
things that just happened because
Were
you
they
guys got attacked.
insta-killed?
Yeah, it's not like we
Yeah.
don't trust our
Yeah.
leadership
It's
anymore.
It's a tiny little goblin boy.
I thought if
Took a
something
cannon
makes
to
them
the
sad,
face.
then they'll be like
Yeah.
bad
When
workers because
sunrise
they're
arrives,
depressed.
I'm sure if there's
we'll
enough
organise a
of
little
that.
thing
Yeah.
for him.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Down to 3 goblins. Their morale isn't very good.
Can we give the goblins cake because they'll be sad because
Do
their
you want
friends
to make
died?
cake?
I can make them cake.
I said I was going to do something
I know how to
at,
bake things. I
At
can.
sunrise, when we stop going full speed, I said I would do. We could do a little.
Yes, I think you and I can agree. I'll talk to the. I can maybe go down to the little chefs and just as a side thing, be like, can I make a little cake? A little cake to have at the sad funeral.
Oh, yeah, we can arrange that, but We can't do that very often. We don't have a lot of supplies for that unless we pick some more. So we can do a little cake at the moment.
Just for the goblins, we don't need to eat any.
Oh, all the goblins?
There's 14 of them.
That's a lot of goblins.
They'll just have a little slice. It's a very strong flavour.
If you want to feed all those goblins, it'll likely that'll be all the cake supplies.
Maybe
for the
we
rest
just
of the trip.
light a little candle or something.
Okay, fine. Okay.
I'm chucking it.
So do you still want a cake? No cake? Okay.
I thought it would be nice to give them cake. We don't need cake.
I'm at the helm.
What do you think? I know. I guess Cabney's there as well.
I mean, I think maybe that's for a special occasion, not a sad occasion.
Okay. No cake.
That
He
goblin
sounds
wasn't
happy.
Maybe if Anther
Not
died.
Yeah, good point. If Anther died, then we'll all have
maybe
cake.
not.
Celebration.
I said that in character.
We could get a dance floor. No.
All right, so, no cake then. Are we safe now? All right. Okay. Oh, haven't done that. I haven't done that in a while. Not since the last pirate attack, which was not this year. So it was a bit freaky. Hopefully, not doing that very often. But
We can have lights on deck after. Sorry, I thought you were.
no, I'm finished.
Can we do lights on?
Yeah, you can start
after
lighting
maybe
it.
like an hour.
Yeah. After an hour, I mean, you would have been cautiously watching the stern to make sure no one's following you, kind of stuff. And no one does. You do notice the ship that was coming from the west is still making headway towards like your direction. Like,
It's
down the
closer than it was before.
channel. Now that you guys are going, it looks like it's maintaining distance. Same speed, yeah.
I call Anther to the helm.
Here we go.
Gonna get in shit.
Yeah, I'll make my way up with the bandage around my shoulder. Just
Yeah.
there's a massive like bruise,
Yeah,
ribs
yeah.
broken in the middle as well. Like
What the hell happened up there?
I tried to get the sentry and couldn't quite get him off.
Right.
I dived and down the shore.
Someone walked in.
Yeah, there was someone.
There is someone.
There's a
There
person
is,
there.
there is.
Yeah.
Oh. Just stay down. It'll look
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, right. Oh,
I'm just rather in case he came this way, they didn't see a room of people.
I would after a second. Maybe. Kind of looked like it was high.
Did he say why he was here?
He was looking for some guitar strings. Where were we? I was talking to you.
Yeah.
You were about to bash his brains out, yeah?
What for?
With words.
Are you?
You were gonna. I'm like.
Yeah, good.
I'm like sitting in the corner, like yes, devour him.
Cat o' nine tail in hand.
I've got my staff like ready to like poke him if he tries to like move away from you.
Good job.
Thanks.
You did well.
We got away.
Whose phone is it?
It's the
Oh,
music.
it's mine. Sorry.
You see anything while you're up there?
Just a moving metal man, I guess. I'm not quite sure. I smashed his face in, but he stabbed me in the shoulder.
Right, is that why they're firing at us?
I'm not sure.
Why just smash his face in?
I thought if I could stop the man looking at us, they wouldn't find us. But it kind of backfired, maybe.
You don't know what kind of magic he has, though, or what?
No, I don't know what.
No, he might have cast a spell on you or something.
I don't think so. I don't
He could be tracking you.
I doubt it.
Well,
See
if I
anything
can
on
do
my
it to other
shoulder?
people.
Do you want to check somehow?
I don't think I can.
I feel like if he could have used magic, he might not have stabbed him in the shoulder.
Maybe not, but I mean, if it's something we don't know what it is, I don't know what it is.
And that's why you attacked it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fair thing to do.
If we're basing attacks on what we don't know, then I would have attacked half of the people on this ship.
You could try.
And it wouldn't go well for me, just the same as it didn't go well for him. I rest my case. I sulk off, grumpily.
I just got shrug. Wow.
Look, I didn't like the guys anyway.
No, I didn't either. Unsurprisingly.
If they don't like us, I'm not too concerned. But, like, we weren't willing to throw them a bottle of rum, so... I already suspected we were in for a fight with them anyway, so what's the difference?
True.
I might not be in the water next time we shoot those.
Well, if you don't want to get stranded in the water, maybe don't start a fight in the water. Hi.
I'll take water next time.
Alright. Well, you know, it's not too easy to come about with an entire ship like this. You're just lucky we have someone who can fly.
And heal.
Are you eating white?
No, I'm wrapping the dead goblin body, preparing.
What's left of the dead goblin?
Yes, preparing for overboarding.
It's gonna be like a sandwich package.
Oh,
That's all that's left.
God,
Drop kick.
fine.
Someone else?
I've just gone to the empty bed. I asked, which bed is his, and just found some of the stuff in the bed and wrapped it in linen as well.
Just a few rags and stuff.
Yeah. Like an old bone
Take the wheel for a
plumbing
second.
through at night.
It was a job.
And I'll
Why
kind of
does
just
he
hold
get the wheel?
from the side and just like not move at all. Oh, it hurts, but I won't move. I don't know what to
It's heavier than you thought.
do. Yeah.
It flashes back to the rudder that he tried to destroy.
How does ships work?
Okay, so are you guys going to do anything else? Or are you guys going to continue pushing forward?
I think continue. I think so.
I might brew the last potion.
No, not a bad idea.
Oh yeah. I'm also gonna come up to you while you're at the wheel and So do you still have that health potion you made the other day?
I made 2 so far.
Could I maybe keep one of them on me in case we get split up again?
You can take them all.
Good. I'd rather that.
You can too.
You seem prone to hazardous situations.
That was the first time. Probably the last.
Can you function?
I'm alright. This arm's good.
If
That's all you need.
like I don't know how this works exactly. If somebody's like got say 5 or 6 health points and you're just like hanging out chilling for 3 days straight, do they get any health points back?
I've done all
You
this.
have one.
Long
Okay,
rest
right.
skills
Oh,
definitely.
right.
But
Long
also
rest,
just
right.
playing up the injuries is
Okay.
interesting. Otherwise I'm just full health, no injuries.
Mm.
Well, if we see those lads again,
We leave.
maybe we gotta do something about them.
Mm.
I doubt they wouldn't try something if they saw us later down the line. So we're gonna make sure we have the upper hand if we see them again.
How well did they see us though? There was partially some fog and then it was really dark, so would they recognise our boat?
Only from
They
the
were
top.
here before we woke up.
Mm.
I think they know our ship. Maybe.
Hmm.
Did they see you?
The metal man did though.
Man.
Did he though?
Does he have a face?
No.
Does he have eyes?
No.
Oh,
Not anymore.
maybe not. But I think it's best to presume he did, though.
Well, he snuck up on him and smashed him in the face. So,
Is there any way they'd know? They'd recognize us.
I doubt they'd assume. I mean, if they saw the big hole in our boat, I think they would know.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
No, I want to know if they knew it was us before they even came close.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter, does it?
As long as we're not in range of their, but what is it? A
Ballista.
Ballista.
They knew us from the dock. I doubt they saw anything last night.
Aye. Well, they could have been here during daylight. We went quite early.
maybe next time we keep someone on deck.
Just keep an eye out.
Take turns at being watch. And on that note, I can go take the first. With my little spyglass.
Take a look at the ship trailing behind us. They have their flag up. Let me know.
I can check again. I saw their flag. I didn't get to see the flag last time because of the wind, but if they're the same distance,
Once it's daylight, obviously. So you
I was
can
able to see it last time, but I just couldn't see it because it was like the wrong direction in the wind.
Okay. Well, if there's a light up near the flag and you can see it. Yeah, sure.
I'll say sure. Eventually, if you continue to watch, you'll see it. It just seems to be a plain beige flag with a mermaid with arms spread.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can describe that flag whenever I see it. Also, I completely forgot. Like a while ago, Malevinox gave me that book to flip through, and I never came to a conclusion on it.
I mean, technically, you guys have been traveling for pretty much a day.
Yeah, you haven't really stopped.
No, but I was just going to look for half an hour, and that
yeah.
was it was 2 hours I had it.
Yeah, so you recognize that it does have magical properties, but in order for those magical properties to be inferred to the reader, you need to spend a long rest reading it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I can't do that now, but I'll do that when I can. And I would have let him know that once I learnt it.
So, next day.
If you'd like to hold on to it, you can.
Yeah.
Sunrise rolls around, and things are waking, things are stirring. The crew has been working at the repairs and has managed to recover the 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours so far. So there's been 1 hour of sailing where you guys have just been focused on sailing, which has been full speed. The rest has been half speed. So you've healed your full 35 that you have available, and there's no more repairs left unless you find extra resources. Mostly they've been repairing where the rigging used to be, trying to get that fixed up, just in case you find any extra spare rigging. You now have a place to put it, though it will need proper repairs when you get back to a shipwright. The crew is going to take some exhaustion if you continue to go now. You've been traveling for 7-8 hours.
What's the time?
It would be around 10-11 in the morning. You've noticed that halfway through, the ship behind would have stopped at some point.
Oh, okay. I was going to, if it was still there, slow down, let it catch up.
No, they've stopped.
Are we just in open water now? Are we still next to?
They're still in the channel.
All right, we'll stop for a little while, I suppose.
How long?
How much do we need to have like a proper break and not get exhausted?
If you want to do like another full shift of sailing, you'd have to do the long rest, which is 8 hours.
So it's like 8 hours on, 8 hours off.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. Okay. We got to take turns in watching for.
I've just done the last watch, so I'll sleep this
like
time,
10
but somebody else needs to be awake.
Yeah, I'll do it.
But it's the middle of the day as well, so
Yeah, it's not up to
like we
see.
can just we don't have to sleep. We can just rest.
They probably would have had to just like the guys that we were firing at had to just stop for a few hours just to repair. So they wouldn't be super close, and they might not catch up even if we rest for a while. They might probably get to us maybe halfway through.
Do we have like a bell on the ship or something so that we can like alert people to wake up if needs
There'd
be?
be one in the crow's nest.
Okay.
There'd probably be a few around. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'd pop down from the crow's nest and go to sleep, and like I'd swap with whoever is going to be next.
I'll go first. I won't go up to the crow's nest, but I'll just be walking around.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do? Taking your rest. Okay. Is there anyone on watch?
I'll take a watch.
Me first.
Okay. Are you both doing it together? Are you doing it separate?
I'll take like a shift after someone's finished.
Okay, so like 4-4. Okay, cool. Roll me perception.
Is 4 hours enough for you to get rest?
16.
He's not doing anything like.
Just
He's technically still resting.
I'm not just sailing and manning the wheel.
Yeah.
Straight rating.
16.
I think 15.
15.
No, 14 probably.
Okay. So where you guys are, you've essentially, if you can imagine parallel parking a massive ship, you essentially just pulled up to the side of the channel so that ships can pass you if needed. It is just wide enough for that to be the case. You put anchor and go to sleep during your watch, which is mostly during the day. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, particularly. It's mostly just like wildlife here and there, and a lot of like at this section going along the channel, it's a lot of more luscious, well, at least arid, luscious landscape. Nothing goes poorly. Same for Din's watch. You all managed to have a successful long rest.
And they didn't catch up.
They have not caught up that you know of so far.
Did the other ship start moving? Or are they still?
They would be about to catch you up now.
Right.
When you start sailing. Yeah.
We'll move at half speed.
Okay.
And just let them slowly catch up to us while we're moving.
All right. So yeah, you start moving at half speed, and eventually you see them, gaining on you to the point where they're close, and they've got their white flag raised as they approach you.
Yeah.
I took down our flag, keep in
Can we
mind.
put it as that?
Well, I'm asleep, I'm pretty
right.
sure, so...
No, you've all had a long rest.
Oh, okay, so this is
You're awake.
after our long rest.
Yeah,
Oh,
on the
okay.
tail end of the...
Then yeah, I can throw the flag back up
Yeah,
because
let's do that.
it's easiest for me to get up there.
Yeah. Okay, you do that.
Yeah.
They then pass you, and you all clearly see on the front of the bow the words "freedom," and the flag that they took down. You can see, the mermaid, colourful mermaid that is now just arm spread. No shell, Disney shells to go. It's just normal mermaid type. And you see the captain as they slow down. To just out of it seems like curiosity. There's a lot of the crew on this ship seem to be kind of abnormal, in a sense that it's not just like humans and elves. It's a mix between humans, elves, dragonborn. There's a couple Yonans.
Definitely nothing different from what we are.
Yeah, you can see the captain is wearing very raggedy vest, just like almost like Grass's style, like very shoddy leather cut, scrappy vest with a lot of teeth that you can see. They're like different kinds of teeth, all pinned onto the side of the ship. And I'm talking like not just like canine, like human teeth. It looks like as well. but all kinds, just adorning the left side of his vest. The type of hat that he's wearing is more of like a tricorn, not a tricorn, almost like the Robin Hood style.
Yeah.
Where it comes to a point.
Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher hat.
I think.
And you see that he has this smile on him that's just like very excited, thrilled, and just very gritty smile as well. You can see some of the teeth are just blackened or missing. This scar just like up his face on the one side. And he's a human. He's wearing some boots that match the brown leather vest as well. And as they're slowing down, he calls out to you. Hey. So, Dusty Plank?
Oh, he's shouting from the hill?
Yeah. Shouting across the...
Okay, we'll go helm against helm,
Yeah.
like right parallel.
Yeah.
I'll just give him a nod because I don't shout.
If I heard him, I would sort of wave and be like, hey!
Looks like you got some trouble there. What happened?
Bit of a misunderstanding, I think.
Hell of a misunderstanding. It's alright. I like it. Feisty. So, the competition?
Aye.
Or you're just sailing?
Competition. See, you want to do the talking for me. My shallow voice nods.
Yes.
What's the captain's name?
Mal Navanox.
Val Navanox. Very fancy.
Did I pronounce it right? I think
That's right.
You can call me Henrik.
Henrik.
Henrik. Of Freedom.
Henrik of Freedom. I like it.
And this is my crew. And they'll go, ah!
Yeah!
And the goblins on your ship just kind of go,
Arg.
Grassus is standing there, sort of, as they do, just sort of arms shut off, just looking, nodding, not seeming to make up their mind just yet. He says, so, how are we feeling about the competition?
Let's check our blood contract
We're not
first.
supposed to talk about it.
We're not supposed to talk about the competition.
No.
Everyone's talking about it.
I
Who
don't know
drops
what
dead?
it is.
Who drops dead?
I think we're not supposed to talk about the contract.
No, we're not allowed to talk about the contract. We can talk about the competition.
Right, okay.
I just yell across.
Yes!
I just yell across, we'll see who gets there first.
Aye, that we will. That we will. Well, just want to say good luck to you all. If it means no difference to you, we're going to take the lead on this one now. But, yeah. Don't worry. We won't be, backstabbing you or anything. Our cannons are focused on the competition. So unless you come on to us, we're all good here.
It's okay, we're not sore winners, so...
I like your spirit. Well, adios.
Bye, Henry.
It's a very slow,
We're just like...
Adieu.
It's one of those things where you just kind of turn back and start ignoring each other. But yes, they eventually pass in front. And I'm assuming at some point... At some point, you guys are going to pick back up your speed. How much distance do you want to maintain in front? Like as in between?
Honestly, I don't need it. I'm probably going to go more sideways before they even go ahead. I'm just going to part.
Yeah, but this channel's only so wide.
Yeah. It's probably not going to be a comfortable sail with two ships side by side.
Oh, it's a small channel.
Yeah.
Alright.
We can't... There's no option of us getting ahead of them because we're already behind, so we have to
Not
stay
too
behind.
far. 100 feet, maybe.
Alright.
Keep it within
Cool.
distance.
So you start sailing for, I'd say, maybe 4 odd hours, both of your ships, before you start to see something off in the distance, in the clouds, which by this point are starting to part. You're starting to see a sunnier day up ahead. They're clearing, at least from this perspective. Next session will get you guys to roll the weather again. However, you see a flapping winged figure coming from the distance.
Great.
And you can tell by the leathery sounds of the skin, it's probably a dragon. And you can see a red-orange glow from the bottom of the skin. And very slight fiery eyes from this distance. It's hard to make out details. But that's what we'll pick up next session.
That's okay.
No.
We
And
have
then
another
blow up
boat
the ship
full.
in front of
We
us.
have another boat. There are friends.
There are
It's
sacrifices.
okay. No, it's okay because they can help fight with us if need be if we're nice to them. Because the dragon will be an issue for them as well. If nobody pisses the dragon off.
Fight a dragon. In the middle of the ocean.
Level 2.
You think you'd be able to fire a cannonball at a dragon,
We've
man?
already, taken damage.
This guy could. Could also hit him.
I mean, there is a ballista a little whiles behind us. We do know that, and a ballista could do some dragon damage.
Oh boy.
You know, you pack a net into a cannon.
Look, if we ever get caught up by the
Has to be
other
a very
people's
big
ship, we just tell them,
net.
we saw this ship with a mermaid flag, and they hit us too. It was absolutely crazy. Like,
That's
oh
the
my
ship
gosh.
that's right next to us.
Yeah. They hit us as well. It was so random.
Can dragons in this lore be nice? Or is that just generally not the thing that dragons do?
It is a possibility for some dragons to be nice. But it depends on the dragon.
Yeah. Why is everyone looking at me?
Come on,
anyway.
guys. Like the pseudo dragons are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening in. If you're listening at home, we really appreciate all the support. And we'll see you next episode.
Eee!